So I want to welcome you to the third and final Amazon Fast Track group coaching. This is bonus session number 3 for ASM Masters, and I hope you guys like the first 2 sessions, and I think you guys are going to love this one as well. As you guys know by now, I always like to repeat what the goal of the group coaching session is and then go over some of the cornerstone principles, because they're sort of like tackling and blocking in my world. And so, you know, the whole goal of group coaching is we're going to go on this journey together. So as my Amazon business grows, the idea here is yours will grow in parallel. You know, as I learn new insights, new marketing funnels, new Amazon tactics for ranking, I'm going to share those with you, and then you'll be able to apply it to what you're doing. And that's, of course, why I started my Amazon Fast Track group coaching, which is my ongoing coaching program that's based on the mentoring model. And the mentoring model, I first started to use that when I started my practice management consulting company in the 90s. And back then we used to call them a teleseminar. So we'd get all these doctors on what was you know, sort of like a 2-dimensional educational format just over the phone. And then that evolved into the webinar format. And the webinar format is really perfect for implementing and realizing the mentoring model in the real world. Because the mentoring model, you know, as we look across educational platforms throughout history, the one that has the highest rate of success time and time again is mentoring. In fact, if you look at franchises have some of the highest rate of success when you start a business. Why? It's really the mentoring model applied to a business, isn't it? So we try to apply that in my monthly group coaching program. Now let's go over the cornerstone principles. Again, as I said, this is like tackling and blocking. These are things we'll never move away from. For as long as you're with me, we'll always sort of circle back to these core principles that I think make the foundation for a very successful Amazon business. The simple business plan is you're going to make $10,000 a month from one product. That's the overarching goal. No matter what we're doing, no matter how busy our day gets, always remember, one product, we want to be able to average $10,000 a month. So if you want to make $100,000 a month and quit work, how many products do you need? Hey, even I can do that math. That's 10 products. My secondary goal is a 40% overall net profit margin. Some might be more, some might be less. I want my product mix overall profit margin to have that 40% profit target. So with 10 products, doing $100,000 a month, my net profit after all my expenses is $40,000 a month. Okay. Now, one layer of the onion upon which we make all decisions, including how to pick products, including what we do with Amazon ads, including what we do with our marketing, is the 80-20 principle. So we use the 80-20 principle throughout the Amazon business to keep us focused on those small handful of things that yield the most cash, the most result in the shortest possible time. I think that's one of the reasons why we're able to hit 6 figures per month in a relatively short period of time, adhering to all the stuff that I teach. And then, you know, a substrate of that is to release enough products, you know, have a product mix so that the 80-20 rule kicks in, because not everything you do will be home runs. You're going to end up with, if you have 10 products, about 2 or 3 will be home runs. You'll have the kind of standard deviation in the middle that will be nice, good, solid passive income earners, what we call base hits, and you'll have a couple dogs. That's just the nature of business. And the high odds product picking approach, again, is a derivative of the 80-20 principle. The goal here being to find the 20% of products on Amazon. You know, there's tens of thousands of products, but not all of them are equal. So what are those handful of products, those 20%, that have the highest probability of earning us $10,000 per month in sales or more? And then the end game, of course, is to own this basket of 80-20 breakout home runs, as well as passive income earners. Now, the other principles that I taught in webinar number 2 is that this is a lifestyle business, okay? Thus, these 2 pictures, you know, it's funny, you know, when you have certain emotional triggers, just looking at these pictures just kind of, you know, mellows me out, because I have such a good emotional association with St. Bart's. First and foremost, this is a lifestyle business. So one of the ways that we make our business become very successful is we buy rank. It's a way to kind of, you know, cut the line, if you will. So we can sit passively and hope that Amazon is going to rank us, but I'm far too impatient. I like to be more in control of the horse that I'm riding rather than let the horse control me. So I put the saddle on the horse, and I give that horse some direction, and I dangle a carrot in front of that horse. And that's essentially what we're doing when we buy rank. The buy rank principle is that if Amazon offered you $30,000, if Amazon calls up and said, give me $30,000 and we'll guarantee you, Ben, a #1 rank, are you interested? All of us, if we have a modicum of motivation, all of us in a heartbeat would say yes. Why? Because we know we can make back that $30,000 very, very quickly, probably within the first month, if not sooner. So if you're willing to write a check to Amazon for $30,000 to buy slot #1, then why wouldn't we, and again, we're talking theoretically, why wouldn't we be willing to give away $30,000 worth of inventory to buy that same rank? So as I said, though, just sort of cycling back to the lifestyle business, no matter how entrenched you get with actions, frustrations, wins, etc., don't ever forget why you got into this crazy business. It's for the lifestyle that this business can buy us. What motivates you the most? What is your St. Bart's? Keep that front, top of mind at all times, and you'll find that it'll get you over those very frustrating humps. Amazon, it's like any other business. It's not a clear, easy, one-way, stairwell up to the top. You're going to have detours and plot twists. So you want to have an underlying, fuel that really keeps you committed to your goal. And as I said on webinar #2, don't build your life around your business. Build your business around your ideal lifestyle. The beauty of this business that I've discovered is that all the heavy lifting happens up front. So once you've sourced and ranked a product and done all that stuff, it's pretty much hands off. And there's really not a whole lot you have to do other than just making sure you have enough inventory and then just reordering. And of course, releasing more products if you want to, if you plan to aggressively build your business like we do. So anyway, I have some really killer stuff on this third and final webinar with you. We're going to talk about what is probably the most successful webinar model not the most successful webinar model, the most successful marketing funnel that probably has ever been created to rank a product, and that's my $1 Amazon marketing funnel. I'll tell you some of the lineage behind that because it's kind of interesting. But I'm going to show you what I'm calling version 2.0. It's a variation on the theme, and it's a new improved funnel that ranks new Amazon products. You're going to get some updated HTML files. And we're going to workshop. I'm going to literally walk you through how to set this up because I find it's the little stuff that stops people from implementing and becoming successful. We're going to eliminate every question and little hang-up you've ever had to rank a product. Well, at least that's my goal. So, as I already mentioned, I'm going to walk you through what we call the funnel building workshop. Literally look over my shoulder, okay? And you're going to see exactly how I set all this up. We're using a new scarcity countdown timer. I'm going to give you the email swipe file to use with the funnel. You're going to see it all. Then I'm going to show you how to rank your product with Facebook. We don't have enough time to give you all of my Facebook campaign set up. That's a whole kind of webinar in and of itself that goes outside the scope of this 3-step beginner series that you're getting. But you're going to have enough. So I'm going to show you how to create a campaign and exactly how to apply this so that you can at least get going. And then we're going to wrap up with a couple things. We're going to wrap up with 12 reasons why people fail with ASM and what to do about it so it never happens to you. And this is based on hundreds of hours of one-on-one ASM consults I've done. And so I'm going to, sort of, in no BS fashion, tell you what these 12 landmines are and exactly how to avoid them. And then I'm going to have some final words for you. All right? So what do you guys say? We get going. All right. Do you want to know the #1 thing that everyone wants to know on Amazon? And that is ultimately how to rank an Amazon product, right? How to rank an Amazon product. And I'm going to teach you one of my very successful methods to rank a product. All right, and I would argue probably the most successful to date that's out there. That is a proactive way that you can rank, where you're not sort of beholden to whatever the whims of Amazon happen to be that particular day. And I love proactive marketing funnels where I can take control. It sort of changes the whole way that the Amazon game is played. And I'm going to show you exactly what that looks like. So we call this a $1 Amazon marketing funnel version 2.0, aka the dollar funnel. Now I want to cycle back to something I taught on our last webinar. 3 ways to get ranked. Number 1 is daily sales velocity. Are your daily sales higher than the other guys on page 1? Second, on-page conversion rate. Is your conversion rate better or higher than the other people on page 1? And do you have enough 5-star reviews? And I said that 5-star reviews, I have enough data at this point to prove that 5-star reviews in and of themselves do not rank a product. What they do is a result in higher on-page conversion rate, which increases your daily sales. But so if we just sum it up and say daily sales, on-page conversion rate, 5-star reviews, that's how you get ranked. Now what's really, really cool is that my $1 Amazon marketing funnel ticks all the boxes, aka it boosts your daily sales, or it tricks Amazon into thinking all of a sudden you're a bestseller. Second, it increases your on-page conversion rate, because one of the secrets behind this is we adamantly protect your on-page conversion rate by literally constructing hoops they have to jump through before we ever reveal the link to your product. And then third, it gets more reviews. Because why? Well, because the premise for selling somebody this high-value product for just $1 is you're seeking honest reviews. Ticks all the boxes. And it ranks a product. So let me just show you this sort of new and improved version of it, and I think you're going to love this. So let's just pretend this is our product. I need to stress this is not my product, but this is just what we're going to use for the workshop today. So the Tavolo 12-inch set of 4 silicone spatulas, okay? We run an ad on Facebook that looks like this. First of all, we use a branded brand new Facebook fan page. The goal is not to build up likes. The goal isn't even to post any content on that Facebook fan page, simply so that when our ad appears in the news feed of our targeted audience, there's an instant connection, because I happen to like Cook's World on Facebook, and I target Cook's World, and this makes sense. Chef Georges Louis, I just made that up, and I just bought this image from a royalty-free image site. That instantly jives with me, because I have a proven propensity for liking cooking-related things. And it says, want top-rated silicone spatula set for only $1. Well, duh, who wouldn't? It's an irresistible offer, right? Normally $19.95, insane launch sale, 1 day only 48 available, expires tonight. And it says, get one here. And it gives me the link. It also has the Amazon branding, insane Amazon.com $1 deal. And all this stuff has been tested, by the way. So if you have seen some of my bestseller funnel previously, you'll notice there's various little tweaks. And these little tweaks, there are differences that whisper, and there are differences that scream. And these are differences that scream. They may appear little, but they've made a big difference in overall response rate, such as we added the Shop Now button. We added some of this copy. And don't worry, I'll show you how to set all this up a bit later. But we blatantly tap into the Amazon.com branding, because really, where does the iFlow go? It goes here, here, bounces to here, and then bounces to here. Grab this for $1 now, insane Amazon.com launch deal. So we repeat Amazon here, which is very prominent, and here, and we add the Shop Now button. Now, just if you're curious, this is the mobile version. This is what it would look like on somebody's cell phone. Same exact ad copy. Now, as soon as somebody clicks on Shop Now, it takes them to this page. Now, this is a countdown timer here. Currently, this is just a placeholder image, but I'm using a countdown timer. And again, I'll show you how I set all this up. The countdown timer increases your number of opt-ins significantly, really significantly. And again, you're going to have these upgraded HTML templates. We've edited some of the copy, some of the layout, et cetera, et cetera. And again, we'll go through all this here momentarily, but let's just read this together. All the verbiage is very important. We're, again, leveraging off of the Amazon logo here. Amazon, IncredibleAmazon.com, one-day only sale. Silicone spatula set, only $1, free shipping. Normally $19.95, only 48 available, expires midnight tonight. Yes, you read correctly. Because you saw this ad, this silicone spatula set is only $1 with free shipping. This is available today only to promote our new Amazon launch. Only 48 available, and then you know how we have this little asterisk here. This is why it's free shipping if they're a Prime member. Act now. Now, every single element on this lander is there for a reason. Amazon logo, the same orange color that is used in the Amazon smile, this trust seal right here, the countdown timer here, which again I'll talk about some of these elements later, and I'll show you how to set this up. But notice that it says get your coupon code. So there's nothing scary right now. Now check this out. This message and this copy, normally $19.95, is very congruent with this. So we want to actually have some of the ad copy bleed over from the ad so there's congruency so we don't scare them off. And there's nothing scary here that will make them bounce. Now notice we use something called the disguised opt-in. And I was one of the first people to ever use, back then I call it a two-step opt-in. And this is before like Optimized Press made it more popular and lead pages. I was literally doing it just more on a caveman level. Ours used to say, get your, whatever, free report here. They click on this, then it would take them to a second page that revealed the opt-in rate. And that was much more successful than if I brought them to a page like this and then threw the opt-in form right in their face. Most people, once it's the opt-in form, they're going to bounce. So this is a hidden opt-in form. So it says, get your coupon code. Okay. Bam. That's the first time they ever see that they have to give their email. And this is what we call click commitment. So at this point, they've read this, they've clicked once. They've read this, they've clicked twice. They're much more likely to click get coupon a third time and opt in. Now, as soon as somebody types in their email address here, and again, all the verbiage is very, very key. Get Amazon coupon for $1. Again, we stress Amazon. They enter their email, and it redirects them to this page right here. Now, how many hoops do we have so far? Hoop number 1, hoop number 2, and only now do we reveal the link to our Amazon page. And that even then it's below the fold. See, it's critical this is all above the fold. Here we purposely bury your Amazon product link below the fold. Why? Because we want to do whatever we can to protect that on-page conversion rate. By the time somebody makes it to this stage, they've jumped through 2 hoops, they've entered their email. Robert Cialdini calls this ever-deepening commitment, and the odds of them clicking and buying skyrocket dramatically. As opposed to if I just said, want this top-rated yada yada, enter coupon code blah blah blah, click here, and it took them right here, there's no commitment. So that's why we rather than go from here right to give them the coupon code, we go from here to the forced opt-in. We want them to jump through hoops. We want them to qualify because that was the only way that we're able to dramatically improve our on-page conversion rate. Remember, it's not just about daily sales velocity. It's also about increasing on-page conversion rate. And only now at this point do we give them the ASM ranker here, and this takes them to the Amazon page. Now, simultaneously, it has sent them an email that gives them the link to this page because people, they might click on this link. It takes them to Amazon. Oh, hey, what the heck was that code again? And you would never get that sale. So the background email sequence, critical to making this work as well. We'll cover that a bit later. Okay. Now you'll notice that okay, here is the very simple layout of what I call, for lack of a better word, the instructional lander. Irresistible offer, the reason why, and the brain dead simple instructions. So literally, if that's all you remember, irresistible offer, reason why, brain dead instructions. So literally say, click on the link below to go to the Amazon page. Then add the freaking item to your cart. Then on the checkout page, use coupon code blah, 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 blah in the gift cards and promotional codes. And you'll find people still screw it up. Now, what's interesting is I've been doing this a lot. I use this funnel a lot because I created it, and I've probably driven more traffic to this funnel than anybody else in the history of mankind. Literally, I mean, talking thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of opt-ins and substrates of this and variations of it. And what you're seeing here is the best of the best. This has been modified. This has been modified. Again, it might look similar to the previous substrate. It's not. This is, well, it is similar, but this is the best of the best currently, what we call version 2.0. So be very wary in getting too creative with this process, okay? Because if you get too creative and then you don't get the result, then you don't know if it's your product, if it was your offer, or if it's because you overthought this whole process, okay? Now, some of the verbiage in here is going to set up an expectation for reviews later. Very, very critical. Because yes, my goal is to affect a ranking increase, but I want that awesome, huge surge of referrals. So here's what it says right here. To celebrate, hopefully generate some publicity, and get some awesome reviews, we've decided to practically give away our blah, 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 blah for just $1. Okay? So pretty simple. Now, this works. Why? Well, it's an irresistible offer. You don't have to get too creative with this. They're getting something clearly of immense value for just $1. They see that they can trust it because on Amazon, because we have repeated this trust factor time and time again. And they even click on here and it says order now on Amazon, which takes them to Amazon. Again, you're using the ASM ranker link here, and they know Amazon's not going to scam them. So very, very effective funnel. Okay. Now, why this Amazon funnel works? Well, we sort of indirectly covered a lot of this, but it basically boosts and protects your conversion rate. Okay. The other reason that I love this funnel is that it builds assets. Whenever I'm doing anything in marketing, my goal is to build assets that can be reused. So what's an asset? Well, I'm talking email assets. Every time somebody opts in, even if they don't take me up on a $1 offer, that's an email asset of several thousand emails that when I release product number 2, guess who I can email? I'm to the point now practically where every time I release a product, I don't have to spend $1 on Facebook ads anymore because I've built up these army of assets, these various email lists. The other asset that you can build up that goes outside the scope of this particular call is a retargeting list on Facebook. So you get a 1-2 punch. Not only are you building the asset of the email list, but everybody who clicks on that Facebook ad, you're building a Facebook audience that you can retarget to. Again, that can be used to make sure that they take you up on your $1 offer, or that can be used to advertise your review club, and or that you will go back to the well and use when you release product number 2, number 3, and so on. Now, version number 2.0 of my Amazon dollar funnel is more streamlined. Now, those of you that are becoming students might recall that in the spring, it used to go Facebook ad, forced opt-in lander, thank you page, and then instructional. That was too much. I didn't need the thank you page. At the time, I just set that up as quickly as I could using lead pages. I stopped using lead pages because the load time was just too much. One of the critical things, the reason why, even if you could replicate my Amazon funnel in optimized press in lead pages, you don't want to do that because delay is death when it comes to pay-per-click marketing like Facebook. If they have to wait even a few more seconds for page load to occur, they're bounced. They're out of there. They have no commitment. We are more committed to the marketing process than they are at that point. So delay is death. So you want to only use HTML type of files because they load the fastest. WordPress type files like lead pages and optimized press, they pull from it. Well, I won't bore you, but essentially like a database. Okay, so many behind the scene things have to happen for those pages to load. You don't want to do that ever. If you talk to anybody that does CPV, which is a very aggressive style of pay-per-click, they only ever use HTML. They would tell you, I'm talking if they have any experience whatsoever, that anything except HTML is suicide. And I found that to be the case. I have found that because my comfort level was only with WordPress, that when I used to limit myself to just WordPress style like opt-in pages, it would end up really costing me so damn much money that I switched over to HTML. The scarcity countdown timer. Now that's optional because there is a cost to buy the script that will run that countdown timer. But I can tell you from my direct testing, it improves opt-in rate by 20 to 30%. Now keep in mind, the opt-in rate is already huge with my marketing funnel. To bump it up another 20 to 30% is just massive. Okay, this funnel again gets you daily velocity buys, aka you're on page gazillion with your new product on Amazon, and you can proactively force 50 sales a day for 4 days with my funnel. It gets you reviews, as you'll see how I wire this a bit later, and it gets you conversions because your conversion rate is going to be massive because you're not trying to sell something for $19.95, you're giving it away for $1. So it boosts your on-page conversion rate, rates that you're displaying as well. Now, what is the outcome or the purpose of the dollar funnel? All right. There's a flow here let's just take a step back. Okay, so let's get out of the demo and let's just talk big picture. Big picture is first and foremost, you have to get your initial 15 to 20 5-star reviews before you implement any Facebook type of marketing. So you wouldn't want to use the dollar funnel first almost ever. There's no reason to, because on the previous webinar, I gave you several ways to get easily 15 to 25-star reviews first. No one likes to show up to the party first. So you do not want to ask a cold lead that has no relationship with you, that just bought your product for $1. If they leave you a negative review, that's going to set the context for all the people that follow to be way more skeptical and wary of your product. That means you're losing control. Do not shortcut this. Everybody wants to shortcut the system, and I get it, but don't do that. First, get the base of your 15 to 25-star reviews. Very easy if you just go over the tactics I taught in webinar 2. Then, again, we're not using the dollar funnel yet. Then phase 2 is when you turn on your Amazon ads, because you have those base of reviews. And one tactic that I like to use in concert with Amazon ads is to lower my price to just above break even temporarily. Why? Again, to get more sales, more conversions, and more reviews. Now, only when Amazon, I'm getting traction in rankings and I'm slowly getting pushed up near page 2 or 3, only then do I unleash all holy hell. That's when I very aggressively unleash my dollar funnel as that last push to get me to page 1 or the top of page 2. All right? I believe all the above steps in that order are very important if you want to stick your ranking. Now, you can try to shortcut it, but your ranking's not going to stick. All you'll end up doing is going through a lot of product, and then you're going to, like, you might go up for a few days, but then you fall right back down to rankings. If you want to stick the ranking, okay, then you have to be a little more patient and go through this process. Because really what this is, big picture, is it's tricking Amazon over the course of several weeks to believe that your product came out of nowhere, suddenly started getting popular, then got more and more popular, then got extremely popular. Now, how well does this work? The version 1 of my Amazon marketing funnel, which is a very rudimentary version, very caveman, helped me make $15,000 my first month at Amazon. And my Amazon Fast Track coaching students have used this funnel repeatedly to get page 1 rankings for multiple keywords, and it's probably the most successful proactive marketing funnel out there right now. And it's the missing piece that can get your new product ranked. Now, what if you don't have enough money or inventory? Well, here's my advice. Start wherever you are. Okay, if all you can give away are 10 units a day for 4 days, fine, do it. That's better than doing nothing. It's better than sitting there hoping and praying that sales will somehow magically fall into your lap just because you're a nice guy or girl, okay? Just get in the game. Literally, if that's all you can give away are 10 units a day for 4 or 7 days, do it. That's better than nothing. Get in the game. Take action. Get that momentum going in the rankings. So, all right. So I hope you're excited about this funnel. Some of you have seen this before, but I guarantee you didn't implement it. Why? Because there are things holding you back. There are little nuances that no one ever showed you. They're like these little, subtleties that are the difference, that make the difference between failure and success. Well, I'm going to go through all that right now. Let's go build one of my dollar marketing funnels. Literally, let's go build it together right now. All right? We're going to lift up the hood on my car, and we're going to install the engine. You're going to see it, and you're going to have a confidence so that you can be successful with this too. All right, so we call this the Funnel Building Workshop. I love workshops because you're going to learn, finally, how to do this in step-by-step detail. All right. Now, everybody's starting here at different levels of skill. So I like to start from the basic and then move to the advanced. So step one, I know for a lot of you it's obvious, but not everybody, is you have to buy what's called a domain name and you have to buy web hosting. Both of them dirt cheap, okay? If you don't know anything about web hosting, go to HostGator and buy their Baby Gator plan. It's only $6.36 a month. If you can't afford that, you have problems that I can't solve. Okay? So if you don't know what else to do, get the Baby Gator plan. This allows you unlimited domains, and I don't love HostGator. I've used them over the years. I'm at a different level where I can afford a dedicated hosting platform that gets me much faster load times. But again, start with where you are. If you can't afford, my web hosting is $300 a month. That would be insane for you to do if you just have one website and you just want to test this. So good enough is good enough. Start with HostGator. The Baby Gator plan, $6.36 a month. Step two, you need to buy a domain. Buy it from Namecheap.com. Trust me, don't buy it from a GoDaddy. I won't get into all the reasons why. Just trust me. A whopping $10. So far you have $16.36 into this deal. To get this marketing funnel going. And you want to find a generic domain that kind of connotes a great deal, like blah 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 awesome deals, daily deals. So like bensawesomedeals.com, something like this. And a great tip that I got from Jason, if you're really struggling to find a domain name, go to a website called leandomainsearch.com. It's really pretty ninja here. I'll just show you a couple features real quick here. Let me just leap back here to the HostGator here. So what you want is click here, View Web Hosting Plans. Oh boy, they're running a great deal right now. This is Cyber Monday when we're recording this, so you're not going to get these kind of deals. But if you don't have web hosting today, if you happen to watch this today, this is currently $3.58. Normally, though, it's going to be $6 and change. But this is the plan right here, the Baby plan. You do not need the business plan, but Baby plan is good right there, okay? Then you go over to Namecheap, and this is how you're going to buy your domain. You literally just type in, bensawesomedeals.com. Click search, and it's available. But let's say you can't find one, and you're just kind of stuck. This is the site that I learned from Jason Fladwin. This is awesome. It's called Lean Domain Search. So you just type in like awesome deals, and it'll show you ideas. And if it's green, that means that this domain is available. So awesome deals tech, real awesome deals. That's an awesome one right there. Real awesome deals, big awesome deals. I just love this tool. Ever since Jason shared this on one of his webinars, I use it constantly when I'm not feeling very creative. But anyway, that's step one. Real simple stuff. Buy a domain and buy web hosting and move on with your life. Don't take more than an hour to complete this step. It should literally take you 10 minutes, really. All right, step two. You're going to make your $1 coupons. Now, big tip big tip. Don't make one coupon, make 4 coupons if you're going to run a 4-day campaign. Now remember, I taught you on the last webinar, Wilson Metcalf's 4-day wave theory, that it takes about 4 days of daily sales velocity to affect a ranking change. So if you're going to do a 4-day campaign, you want 4 different $1 coupons. Why? Because in a real world, you're going to want to limit how many people take advantage of those coupons. All right? So in other words, let's say that your goal is to give away 50 units for $1 for 4 days. As soon as you see that you have 50 pending orders in Amazon Seller Central, you would cancel that coupon for today. Okay? So that's why you want, in advance, to have these other coupons ready to go. One of the frustrating features when you create coupons in Amazon Seller Central is it takes up to, well, not up to, it takes at least 4 hours for a coupon to go live. So I learned this the hard way. I made a coupon, and very quickly my daily sales target was hit. I stopped it. Then the next morning, I'm like, okay, I'm going to restart this campaign. And I was like, oh crap! I had to create a new campaign and wait 4 hours before that freaking thing went live, and you have to test it and so on. So it really put me behind the 8 ball that day. So now, just get in the workflow. You're going to create all the coupons in advance. If yours is going to be an 8-day campaign, you're going to make 8 coupons. Very easy to do. You just clone that first coupon 7 more times, and you just change the coupon code itself. Very, very quick to do. Again, it allows you to control how much inventory you go through per day. It allows you to cancel that day's coupon at any point in time once you hit your daily sales goal. Ben, how do we make these coupons, and how do you end a coupon? Well, good news for you, I showed you exactly step-by-step how to do that in the previous webinar, so I would refer you to that webinar where I showed exactly how to do that. Step 3, you're going to FTP the Lander template package. So underneath the webinar replay of this particular webinar, once Dave posts it, you're going to find a download file. In that download file, you're going to see 3 things. You're going to see a new HTML template package that I've modified for you, that we've tested, that works perfectly. So don't worry about any errors. If there's an error, it's something that you messed up, because I have tested this and retested it, and I use it constantly in my own business, so it does work. Number 2 are some PSD files, are 2 Photoshop files that I'll show you those in a minute. And then number 3, a sample email funnel that you'll use when people opt in. So let me give you a quick look over my shoulder demo, very briefly, of how to use FTP to upload the landing template. Now, because I couldn't necessarily show inside my hosting accounts and things like this, I've done something kind of creative here. I filmed it, and I'm just going to walk you through this as we go here. So step number 1, you're going to FTP upload this. So you want to click on the public HTML folder in HostGator, right there. And then you're going to grab the $1 giveaway funnel template right here, okay? Literally click, oh, I'm sorry, that's right, Ben, got to rename it. The reason why you want to rename this to your product name, so for example, let's say your product is tea kettles, you'd rename it Tea Kettle Special, or Tea Kettle Deal, or Silicone Spatula, or Silicone Spatula Deal of the Day. Is because that will be the actual domain name, or that will be part of that domain name when people visit that web page. So just watch this to become clear. So we'll make this one Spatula Deal, and then we drag the folder right into the FTP window, just like this. I'm just going to upload that folder now. Okay. Now your landing package can now be found at whatever your domain was. So let's just pretend it was bensawesomedeals.com. Okay, so bensawesomedeals.com/ whatever you name that folder. So in this case, we named it Spatula Deal. So that's where somebody can now find step 1 in the marketing funnel, that forced opt-in. Okay, if your domain name was Joe's Awesome Deals, and you are selling a tea kettle, it would be joesawesomedeals.com / tea kettle deal, or whatever you named that folder. Okay, so that's that. Now, I'm going to presuppose a couple questions. People want to know, Ben, what tools are you using? Okay, I happen to use an FTP, a software program for the Mac called Transmit. Let me show this to you right now. Transmit, type in Mac here, right here. panic.com/transmit. This thing right here. I love it. It works very, very well. It does cost money. Now, if you want a free one that works just as well, I mean, if you're only going to use this, you know, as a one-time thing, go to FileZilla, and that's the one that you want to use. FileZilla. This is a free FTP program. Okay. And of course, if you're going to use it for Mac or Windows, you want to download the appropriate one. And if you're just sort of brand new to this, then what I suggest you do is go to YouTube and type in FileZilla tutorials, or just FileZilla, and you can probably watch a couple 10-minute videos, and you'll be off to the races very, very quickly. Okay. Now, step number 4: how do we edit the HTML templates? Now, this is the part that freaks people out. It freaked me out back in my early days. Guess what? We're going to solve this for you right now. Okay, so I'm going to walk you through this step by step. You're going to be very successful with this when I show you how easy this is. All right, step 1, you want to prepare the image. So you see this folder here called Images. We're going to open it up. And assuming that you have your Amazon listing live, you're going to click on your main image right here. And you'll literally drag the main image right into that image folder. Okay, that's just to get the image. Now, if you already have that main image, fine, just use that. We're going to rename this something like Spatula. Now, in the download folder that I mentioned that you're going to be getting with the webinar replay, okay, there is this file right here called Lander1 main image template. Let me just show you what this looks like. Okay, so you have been given this trust seal, and here let me just show you this. I think I have this open for you. Yeah, right here. All right. Over here, and I hope you can see this. I'm sure the writing is kind of small, but you'll notice that right here is the trust seal. See this little drop-down folder, so you can replace that with whatever you want, okay? But we've given you this one. And here's your product image, okay? So literally what you do is you just drag the product image right here, you save this, and it will automatically be saved in the exact proper size you need for both landing pages. So let me just go back to the video, and you'll see this in action here, okay? All right, so we drag the main product image right into here. It'll resize it automatically. Bam. You just move it, and literally, that's it. You save it as a JPEG, just like you're seeing here. And again, I'm using Photoshop. And now our image is ready to go. So now we prepare to edit the landers. Step 1, you got to open up the web pages. So here's our folder that we uploaded. And inside, there are 2 different files, okay? So this is that spatula deal, that HTML template a package that we uploaded. And remember, I want to just beat this dead horse. So we renamed the folder because that is, we want something that sounds applicable to the product. So we renamed the folder spatula deal. But inside that are 2 landing pages. One is called index.html, and one is called instructions.html. Now the index page, for reasons that are technical and I won't bore you with, you don't ever actually have to use index.html. So let me just show you exactly what I'm talking about here. Okay. So your domain goes here, .com / whatever your folder name is. You guys with me? Okay, so I already covered that. Now, the domain in this example that I bought was happiness.outreachproject.com. Now, you never actually want to use a domain like that. I just happen to have this spare domain that I used for this demo. Now, I uploaded that lander package, and I can now view the individual landing pages at happiness.outreachproject.com / / whatever the folder name is will take you to the forced opt-in lander. So in this case, / spatula deal. And then the instructional one can be found at spatula deal / instructions.html. Now, if you ever get stuck, just keep it real simple. Just insert yourdomain.com / whatever you name the folder. That's the first landing page. And then your instruction page will always be located at yourdomain.com / whatever you name the folder / instructions.html. Now, by the way, if this is just freaking you out already, which again I would just submit to you, at least try this yourself first, because this is one of these skills that is just so important that you learn, just for sheer speed, that I think it's worth moving outside your comfort. Okay, but worst case scenario, there's a site called elance.com or odesk.com for literally $15. You can hire somebody from like Bangladesh that can set all this up for you. I mean, this is so easy to them. They could do this. You'd wake them up at 4 a.m. in the morning, and with one eye closed and half drunk, they could do this for you in probably 10 minutes. Okay, but again, I'm going to submit to you that this is one of these skills that can make you so much money that you really want to actually try this on your own. Okay. So we want to open up both these web pages because we're going to edit them in real time, and we're going to keep refreshing these pages so that we can see what these changes are going to look like. Okay. So we're going to just grab these URLs for both, and now we're going to open up the HTML editor. Now I use an HTML editor called BB Edit. So with BB Edit, I can be within Transmit, which is my FTP client. And look, I know I'm freaking some of you guys out that are brand new to this. You're thinking, I can never do this. But just look, if you can just literally follow along, I know you can do this. So all you do is you right-click on the first file called index. You click Open with BB Edit, okay? And that will literally open up this HTML editing program. And we're going to edit this literally in real time so that we don't have to keep uploading the file. All we have to do is click Save, and those saves will be realized in real time on the internet, okay? And then we're going to do the same thing. Well, ultimately, we're going to do the same thing with the instructional lander here. But the way I have this a video tutorial, I'm just trying to keep it very simple. Okay. Now at this point, where are we? We have edited the image, right? So we've done that in Photoshop. We've saved it as a JPEG. And we've opened up the web page so we can see what our changes are going to look like. And we opened up our HTML editor, in my case, BB Edit. Okay? So now we're going to upload the image, and we're going to edit the lander. And here's how simple this part is. Okay, so see this folder right here, IMG? That just stands for image. So you're always going to put your images in the same folder, IMG for image. Okay, so we just open it up. All right, now see, there's one called productimage.jpg. Now, what we're looking for here, again, this is the first landing page, the forced opt-in landing page. We're going to try to find where that IMG / product image file is, and it's right here. Okay, this is going to be the main product image. Just for clarity, let me just show you what I'm talking about here. So it's going to be this image right here. Okay, this one right here. It's also going to be this one right here. Same exact image sizes. I've set up these landers so I can create these very quickly, and so can you. But this will always be in that same position in the HTML file. Okay. Now don't freak out, but this is the thing we have to replace with our new product image. So we made a product image that we named spatula-main-image, and because you used my Photoshop template, it's automatically sized properly. We're going to upload that into that IMG folder right here, and you can see it's very quick. Okay, there it is right there. And now we're going to click in there and just copy that entire name, including the .jpg part. Literally right-click and copy it. Okay. Boom. Now remember, we said that we're searching for this thing called productimage.jpg, and we just want to replace that with your product image. So we keep IMG because that's the folder it's in. We just keep that. We just change that part, the name of it. So in this case, it is what? Spatula main image.jpg. Now, remember how we opened up those two web pages in a web browser? Okay. Well, because I'm using BB Edit, I click Save in BB Edit, and watch this. I can click the refresh button here, and voila, it will show me my changes realized on the internet in real time. All right? Now we're going to edit the text, and this is actually super, super easy to do. I mean, it takes me longer to teach you this than to just do it, and you'll be the same way. But see these placeholders? It says product name. You just look for those things right in there, and you can do a find command, or you can just look. See, it says product name. So you just type in your product name right there. So silicone spatula set. See where it says $? Well, in most cases, it'll be only $1 unless you want to test something. Save, right, and refresh the screen, and voila. Now, see, that doesn't look right. And I'm leaving this on this video on purpose for you because I want you to see. You don't want it to wrap. You want this all above the fold as much as possible. So we're going to do it like this. Click Save again, refresh, and that looks much cleaner. Does it not? Okay. Now we have to edit these parts. Normally, and then you put your retail price here, normally $19.99. Again, we refresh it. There you go. And we do some of these other placeholders that you see here. Replace the product name there, and we say $1 right here. And we refresh. And just like that, the landing page is pretty much done. Now, as an optional step, because this does come with the cost, is I'm using Ben Adkins, not to be confused with me, Ben Cummings, but I'm using Ben Adkins' thing called Timerlay, okay? And Timerlay is a paid-for service that basically allows you to put a countdown timer, and it has some other cool features. It just so happens to be that's the one that I'm using. I'm sure you can find scripts that do countdown timing for you if you're a little bit more advanced, but again, I'm not a coder, so I have to rely on certain tools like this that I buy. That's why I say it's optional. If you're scarce for money, do not buy this, okay? Just implement the funnel as is with as much, well, like without having to buy a bunch of extra sort of bells and whistles. If you have the budget, then I'd highly recommend that you get the Timerlay timer for this. And no, I don't earn any affiliate commission by recommending this. It's just something that I use. So let me just show you how this works. I'm not going to give you a whole tutorial, but basically you make something called a spatula set countdown timer. You make it evergreen. For the timer settings, I did want to show you this. You do want to choose evergreen. Why? Because because whenever somebody visits that page, that's when you want the countdown timer to begin. It's not perfect, but it's good enough. Remember? It's good enough. The reason why the other option would be to end this on a date-specific date. Well, why wouldn't you want to do that? Because we're saying that the offer expires midnight tonight, okay? So you don't want to set it out for 4 days from now because that would be incongruent. So see where it says time from first page load? You want to start the countdown timer from there, okay? And in timer style, you want to turn off the gradient, okay? See that? See, with the gradient, it adds that gradient, and that doesn't look right. So turn that off. You're going to click the Save button, and then we want to grab the Embed timer right there. See, it says Embed timer. I'm going to grab that. Just copy and paste the embed code, and we're going to replace the embed code with the placeholder right there. See where it says IMG. Remember, IMG stands for what? Image. So currently, there's just a placeholder that says countdowntimer.png. This is not an actual countdown timer on my template. It's just an image holder. So that's where you replace it with that little snippet of code that Timerlay spits out. And now it looks like this. And you can almost feel the urgency when you're getting a countdown clock. This is ticking away. Now, Step 3, we want to edit the coupon code lander, aka the instructional lander. Okay. Now at this point, you should have a pretty good grasp on the workflow here. We're going to be using some of the same tools. You want to update the image, and you want to make the text changes in those placeholders. Okay, so let me just show you this. Now, we want to right-click on, in this case, the instructions file, and open it with BB Edit. Okay, and there's that product image thing again. We're going to replace that with our actual product image by copying that, and we paste it right here, just like that, and there you go. That's how easy that is. Now see these placeholders, like right here, product name and the $sign. You just want to edit those. Now, I'm going to spare you the torture of watching me on video make those changes. So it works the exact same way as the previous demo that I showed you. Now I do want to show you an easy way to insert your coupon code, because remember, the only thing you're going to have to actively change every day is you're going to have to update the coupon code. So let's say that you give away 50 of your silicone spatulas by 3 p.m. on Monday. Well, the next morning, you're going to have to edit the instructional lander. This is why I say you want to learn the skill yourself. You don't want to have to be reliant on somebody from Bangladesh or India or the U.S. and hope to God that they can quickly make a change because you need something quickly edited. You really want to just learn these basic skills yourself. Trust me, I am an out-and-out hack. I do not know coding. I know enough to be dangerous. So if I can do this, you can do this. So let me show you a quick and easy way to use a find and replace command that in one fell swoop you can edit this page in like 10 seconds. So we're going to insert the coupon code here now. And this is the placeholder for it. See, it says insert code, just like that. So here's what you do. You click Control F on the Mac, and you paste that placeholder, insert code, and then you grab your coupon code. So let's just say that your Amazon coupon code was sale 2014. Now you notice there are some buttons on the right-hand side. It says replace, replace all, replace and find. I click replace all, bam, and every single occurrence, all 4 occurrences, you can see 1, 2, 3, and 4, they're automatically changed for me. And that's how quickly I change my coupon code. It's the only thing I have to edit on my landing pages during an actual live campaign. Okay? Now, then we use the ASM Ranker link right there for the button, right there. Now, just because I'm anal and I want to show you every facet of this, let me show you where to find that. You open up BB Edit again, and you're looking for this thing right there. See where it says Amazon-URL. That's where you want to put your ASM ranker. So let's say that the ASM ranker link, let's say we want to rank for the keyword best silicone spatula. In that case, it would be, again, I'm just wildly making this up. It would be, happiness outreach project.com/ASM/best silicone spatula set. Okay, whatever the URL is for the ASM Ranker tool. And by the way, if you've been stuck in installing the ASM Ranker tool, it drives me insane. Just hire somebody from elance.com and give them the script, give them the how-to video that Jason made, and just have them do it. I mean, there should be nothing stopping you back. There's nothing in the world of like building websites and scripts. There's nothing advanced at all that we're trying to do here. This is all low-level skill, basic coding that you can hire for $15, $20 one-off from somebody from elance.com or odesk.com. You have no excuse to get stuck on stuff like I can't install the ASM Ranker. Yes, you can. It's called elance.com. It's called hiring somebody else. Okay. So this is where you would input your ASM Ranker link right here. And again, I'm just making this up. ASM Ranker goes here.com. Okay. And ding, 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 ding. Success. We are done. We're done with that facet. All right. Now, if you're brand new to this, you're freaked out. But trust me, the first time you learned about ASM, you're freaked out. But now you're an old pro, right? The first time you learned about any skill, it was like, good God, I can never do that. Oh yeah, if I can do it, anybody can do it. Trust me. Okay? I'm 43. You know, I'm no spring chicken, and I all learned this out of sheer necessity because I wanted to learn the basic skills for speed. Money loves speed. Okay? So anyway, you will always have this webinar replay to go back and rewatch, and literally what you do is you just pause the video, do it on your end. Pause the video again, do it on your end. So that's why I'm doing this as a workshop, this third and final webinar class here. Now, I already showed you this, and this is an optional step. I just need to stress that because I don't want to get any emails going, Ben, I got to buy more crap to implement your stuff. No, you don't. Just if you have the budget, it's recommended, but you do not need it. I used my Amazon funnel for months very successfully without using any countdown timer. It's just that I found that it does increase the results a lot. Okay? Now, the Aweber setup. Okay, this is step 6. Okay? What you're going to do is you're going to make a new list in Aweber. And I'll show you how to turn off the double opt-in because Aweber has made this a bit tricky lately. So if you haven't logged into Aweber in some time, I did not want that to stump you. I wanted nothing to stump you. I want massive success for my students. So this is why I'm sort of drilling down deep here showing the setup. You're going to then create a 3-step, very simple 3-step autoresponder swipe that I'm going to give to you. And I'll show you the logic and what links go where. Very easy. Anybody can do that as well. Then we need to go back and input those Aweber details to finish up the forced opt-in lander, right? Because on our lander here, we got to tell our lander, what list, what Aweber list do we add their email to, and then what happens when they click Get Coupon. I'll show you exactly how to do that. You're going to have total confidence on how to do this by the time I'm done with you in a few minutes. So let me just show you this. And at this point, you guys know the drill. I'm going to show you this on the video that I made here. Aweber. Okay, let's make a new list, first of all. Go to Create and Manage Lists. Just click on that, and you're going to click Create a List. And I already filled in some of these details here. So for the company's name, you don't want to put the company name of your Aweber account. You put the company name and domain that you just bought. So if it's Jake's Incredible Deals, if it's Jones Insane Daily Deals, whatever, put that as your company name, and put your new domain as your company website address. Now, under sender's name, don't put your name. You want to put your deal site name. So Ben's Awesome Deals, it shows up in the sender name whenever those emails are sent. And then for the sender email, you want, ideally, again, if you don't know how to do this, have somebody from Elance do this for $15. Say, create a branded email called support@blah-blah-blah.com and forward those to my Gmail address here. You don't have to know anything about cPanel, and you can hire somebody, and they can do this in their sleep. It's so easy. So do not let this little stuff hold you back, but you do want a branded email address, in my opinion. Click Next Step. And then what would you like to name your list? Keep it simple. Ben's Awesome Deals. And then under, to describe the emails that your subscribers are going to receive. Now, they will see this if they click the unsubscribe button. So you want something enticing to talk them out of unsubscribing. So do something like awesome Amazon deals for $1 or insane deals from Amazon for 99% off, something like that. Something enticing. Click Next Step. And just click Approve Message and Create. This is the new Aweber setup. Now, that's how you have to do it. They don't even give you the option to turn off double opt-in, so we have to do it after the fact, and here's how we do that here, okay? We go to our list name, okay, and we click, see where it says List Options right here? Click List Options, and you don't have to click through these. Just click on Confirmed Opt-in, and this is where it allows us to turn off the double opt-in. You must turn off double opt-in, or you're going to get killed it'll kill your results if you require people to opt in twice. Okay, so like double opt-in means if you left this on, people would opt in to get the coupon code, and then they'd get an annoying email that says, "Hey, just to confirm this is your email address, and we have your permission to email you. Click this link." Very few people click that link. So now, I know some of you will say, "Well, Ben, your double opt-in is better than no double opt-in." Agreed. But in the real world, where my Amazon results have to put food on my table, I got to go with what is working hands down the best. And currently, turning off double opt-in works hands down the best. So you just tick this little thing from on to off, make sure it says that, and then make sure you click Save Settings at the bottom. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to create a 3-step email autoresponder. All right? So you go to Messages. You're going to click Follow-up Series. Now, this is the automated email sequence that goes out in a timed fashion. Very critical. This is like tackling and blocking. This is a foundational element that will get you much better results using it than not using it. Now, I just want to show you something very quickly here. As part of your downloads, you're going to get all 3 steps in a PDF document. And somebody emailed me and they said, "Ben, how do we paste this into Aweber?" Easy, because you can still highlight all this stuff. You just highlight it, right-click, copy, and you just paste this right into the Aweber thing. Okay, that's simple. So you're going to have that. I'm trying to remove every excuse for failure. So click Follow-up Series, and you're going to click Plain Text Message, and we're just going to take our template. So the first message is, "Here is your $1 blank product." So here's your $1 silicone spatula coupon. And yes, I know I misspelled the word silicone. Now we're going to copy and paste this. Now let's just quickly read through this together. The psychology is huge, and I want you to understand the workflow here. So just stick with me. I know we're going a lot of detail here, but it's these little things that will make all the difference. So they've just opted in. "Hi, here's your $1 silicone spatula set coupon." And it says, "Hi, thanks for your interest in getting our blank for $1. The reason we're offering our product for $1 is because it just launched, and we want to get a lot of reviews from folks like you. I built a web page that contains your private Amazon coupon code and easy instructions for how to get this for only $1. Click here to get your Amazon.com coupon code." Now, that's where you want to paste this link right here. This thing right here, right? Because this is where we reveal what the coupon code is. And remember, the coupon code will change daily. Why? Well, because you might have sold out your 20, 30, 50 units yesterday. So you don't want to actually put the coupon code ever in the Aweber email. You always want to drive them back to the instructional lander, because that will contain the most recent coupon code, right? Also, that will enable you to change the ASM ranker link. So let's say you're already, within 2 days, you're already crushing it for best silicone spatula. So maybe you decide to try to rank for the broad phrase keyword of the silicone spatula instead. Okay, so you always want to drive them back to this particular page. I hope that makes sense. We're only giving 48 of these away, and this incredible deal expires at midnight tonight, so act fast. Supplies are limited. Sincerely, Joe Blow, co-founder of blah, 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 blah. So I'm going to go ahead and forward through this here a little bit. And I was just showing you that this is the landing page that you want to put right there. Okay? And then, let me just back up. Something that I think is pretty key here is this PS. Please do not share this coupon with anyone else. This coupon is for your eyes only. Now, why do you think we do that? Because do we want people sharing your coupon code on sites like slickdeals.com? Hell no. Okay? That's why we had that PS. You click Next, and then you click Save and Exit. All right? Now, we're going to create our day 2 follow-up. So click Plain Text Message. Again, you're going to copy and paste these right from the swipe file. Only a few more product available. And again, you're going to insert your product name here. Just bear with me. I know This isn't real fun watching copy and paste, but let me now show you how this reads. Now, we need an excuse for a follow-up email day 2, right? Did we not just tell them that our deal expired at midnight? Well, how do we, without looking like we're a scam artist, how do we come up with a good, valid reason why that if you missed it yesterday, here's your last chance? And you always want to give them a second chance, because a lot of people will have every good intention, but then they had to quickly leave and pick up their child from soccer, or they just forget. So, hi, I have to make an apology. Yesterday we offered our Amazon.com top-rated product for only $1, and the offer expired at midnight last night. I awoke to several angry emails from people saying they didn't even see our ad until late last night, and therefore missed the $1 deal. I spoke with my staff this morning, and we decided to offer a few more of our blah, blah, blah today only for the same $1 deal that I offered yesterday. The only reason we're giving away our $19.95 product for $1 is to get your reviews. And the last thing we want is for anyone to be upset, right? Isn't that a great reason why? So I've never had somebody email me or question me on that was upset. They say, "Oh, thanks so much. I really appreciate it. Yeah, I forgot, or my email went into spam, or the dog ate my homework, whatever." Right? So anyway, that's how that works. Let me just skip ahead here. Okay. I just want to show you how we do the timing of this in case you don't. Click next. Now, see where it says interval. Number 2 is going to be sent X days after previous. You want this 1 day after the previous. So email number 1 is actually 0, right? That's what they get right away. And then email number 2 goes 1 day after the previous email. That's simple. Now, we need an email that reminds them to leave a review. So about 7 days later, we're going to send them what we call the follow-up email here. So we go again to plain text message. We grab the swipe file here that I provided you, and it goes like this. "I'd love your Amazon review." Let me just read this to you and show you how this works. "Our records show that most of you took advantage of the $1 offer and scooped up our product from Amazon at that amazing price in exchange for your review. That's awesome. It's been about a week now since you ordered the product, so hopefully you received it by now and enjoying it. So far, the customer reviews have been so enthusiastic, and we're so thrilled with your response. If you already left a review, I want to thank you. But if you just got your product or just have been so busy and couldn't find the time, I would greatly appreciate if you could leave your Amazon review for us. If for any reason you're not happy with your product, please reply to this email so we can take good care of you." By the way, why do you think we put that in there? Because we're saying, hey, don't leave a review if you thought our product sucked, right? You've got to have that language because you've got to head off those negative reviews. I can't tell you how many people said, "Oh, I'm kind of pissed. I never got the product even though I ordered it. This is a scam." Then I can say, "Oh, all that's handled by Amazon. I'm so sorry. Let me look into this as soon as I can for you and see what's going on. Can you please reply with your order number? And in the meantime, I'm just going to send you one for free so you don't have to wait any longer." And I just turned that 1 star into a 5-star review. They're like blown away. Now, here's the part that I want to show you here. You got to give them the direct link. Now, I see people screw this up all the time. Somebody just posted this in the main ASM forum, and I just shook my head. They were so wrong on the link structure to drive them directly to leave a review. It has to be this exact link structure here. So let me just show you exactly how this works. So it says, to make this even easier for you, I'm attaching the link to leave your review for our product on Amazon. Now, the person does have to be logged into Amazon, and they have had to have bought it. Now, the great thing about Amazon is it tends to leave people logged in for a very long period of time. So nothing's 100%, but this works 90% of the time. Now, see where it says insert your ASIN here? You don't want to do it with the brackets, and I'll show you this in a second, but you got to grab your ASIN for your product. So where do you find your ASIN? Let me show you. Right here. It's that B008X yada yada right there. So we just grab that ASIN for your product, and then we paste it right in there like you see there. And that's how to give a direct link for someone to leave a review. This is also the link structure you want to use in the ASM email tool, or if you use Feedback Genius like I do. That's the link structure. Okay? Click Next, and this is going to go out. Now, keep in mind, how many days after the fact should this be sent? You don't want to send it one day after they got the previous email because they haven't had a chance for this to be shipped by Amazon yet. You want it, I found the optimum time, again, it's not perfect, is 7 days. Okay? So you're going to do 7 days from the previous message. All right? There you go. Now, big picture. We have made our landing page images. We have edited the image and the placeholder text on the first and second landing page. Yes? Good. We have built our Aweber list, and we have made our initial 3-step autoresponder sequence. Now we need to go back to the forest opt-in lander and edit the list name and the redirect. So look, in other words, in plain English, we have to tell our landing page what Aweber list we want to associate when somebody enters our email, and where to take them after they click Get Coupon. So let me show you how to do that now. Really, really easy. We're going to use the exact same tools we've been using here, okay? Under List Options, you need to grab the Aweber List ID. So you go List Options, List Settings, and see this crazy little thing that says Unique List ID right here? Unique List ID. You want to grab that AW list blah, 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 blah right there, okay? Click Copy. Now you go over to, yeah, so I'm showing you where this is going to go. You go over to that BB edit document again that has your index.html file open. And you want to look for this. Again, if you didn't know anything about how to code anything, just common sense, you're going to look for the thing that says opt-in form. So see where it says start of opt-in form, end of opt-in form. Okay, that's all you have to know. Start of opt-in form, end of opt-in form. That tells you that this is the section having to do with Aweber. Okay, and this is going to be real easy to just follow along with these instructions. See where it says your list name, under list name, your list name? Just simply paste in that Aweber ID there. That's it. That's all you have to do there. And then see where it says redirect, and it says meta redirect? Okay, so this is where all that's saying is, okay, after somebody joins that Aweber list, where do you want to take them? So this is where we are going to take them to the instructional lander. So we're going to copy that instructional lander URL. Excuse me. We're going to paste it in those two places, right there, and again, right here. Okay, and we're going to save it. And voila. All right. Now see that section right there? We still got to edit that pop-up. Now that's placeholder text there, and you're going to see it's right above that opt-in form thing. See right there? Get Amazon coupon for blah, blah, blah. Just change that for $1. And you just insert your product name right there. And there you go. So step 6 is just test it. And that just means you're going to insert your email address in here, make sure that everything works, and you're good to go. All right, so I hope you like this. Now, you are done. You are done. And what happens now is you have built your landing pages, you have built your Aweber sequence, you have wired it all together. Even if you're a hack like me, you wired it all together just by following along. And now we have to bring this into the real world. We got to get eyeballs on this landing page. How do we do that? We're going to use Facebook. So let's move to the Facebook ads workshop. How to rank your Amazon products with Facebook. Well, let's say you now watch me create a Facebook campaign for our new $1 marketing funnel. Now, before we get into that, let's just take a quick stretch because I know this is data heavy today. This is data heavy, right? So let's grab a quick drink of water and just go ahead and stretch wherever you are. Just kind of shake it off a little bit, wake yourself up, okay? All right. Guys ready here for the Facebook ads workshop? All right, let's get to it. All right, so the very first step is you want something congruent with the product so that when you're running Facebook ads, you're speaking to that market. So what do I mean by you want something congruent with that market? If you are in the pet category, you want to make a brand new pet fan page. If you're in the yoga mat Amazon product category, you want to make a yoga sounding brand new fan page. Okay. In this example, we are selling a kitchen sort of item that would probably appeal to cooks. So I just made this brand new fan page called Chef Georges Louis. Okay. So step one, you want to make a fan page that will have an affinity with your product. Okay. And how you do that? Very easy. You just go to facebook.com/pages/create. And you can create a brand new Facebook fan page in under a minute, literally under a minute. Now, I just want to mention this to you. Now, don't bring the old world into the new world. You guys, I got to untrain you guys on a bunch of stuff. Now, as soon as I start talking Facebook, you guys start to salivate. You make this overly complex. You start thinking, oh, wait a minute, is this when I start my like campaign? Is this when I start posting 3 times a day? Is this when I start? No. I do not care about getting likes to this particular fan page. I do not even post a status update. I might post 1 or 2 or 3 just to have it there, but I don't give a crap about daily, status updates. Forget everything that you've learned about fan pages. The only reason that you're making this brand new fan page, i.e. its only intended use, is to run Facebook ads. And you'll soon fully understand what I mean when you see my setup here, okay? So step 2 is now how to create a successful Facebook campaign. So let's look over my shoulder, and I'll show you exactly how easy this is. I could and probably should call this Power Editor Demystified, okay? So step number 1, you're going to create the ad image. Then, how do we know what size? Well, guess what? I've given you a template that has the exact size that you should use, and it's very, very simple. Anybody can use it. Again, underneath the replay for this video, you're going to find a download file, and within that is you're going to find the HTML templates, as I said, the sample funnel emails, and this folder that says PSD templates, and within that thing, it's going to say Facebook ad. Okay, so just open it up, and it's super simple. You're just going to drag in your main image, and then you're going to have this red text that says insane Amazon.com $1 deal. All right, just like you see here. And you're going to save this as a JPEG file. Again, I'm just showing you how you can drag your main image in there. You just resize it here. And even if you don't know how to do this, you can hire somebody on Fiverr for $5 who can do this in 2 seconds for you. But you do want to save this as a JPEG file. It's automatically sized in the right format for what we're going to do. Now we're going to open up Power Editor. Let me show you where to find that. Go to Power Editor right here. You can only use this in Google Chrome. Click Download to Power Editor to update this. Click Download, click Continue, and just let that information upload. Click Campaign and the plus button to make a new campaign. Then we're going to name this something like Silicone Spatula Set Dash $1 Funnel. Clicks to website is what you want to select, and click Create. Now click Ad Set. And again, you're going to click the plus button. That just means you're going to make something new. Okay? And you're going to name this ad set by an audience name. And this is just the way that I organize things. Now, if you know anything about Power Editor, you may not know that they have recently changed things. So just take a look at my mouse. See how I'm sort of moving it around the screen? Everything goes from left to right. So you make a campaign first. Then you progress to ad sets. When you're done with that, then you progress to ads, and then you click Upload Changes. That's the workflow. So campaign literally is you're just naming what the campaign is about. So, I'm always very descriptive because I have some different Amazon ranking funnels that I teach. This one happens to be the $1 funnel. So it's product name dash $1 funnel. Now, ad set is now where you determine the audience. So if I'm testing 6 different audiences, I'm going to have one campaign, but 6 different ad sets, one ad set per audience. So in this case, we're going to target Williams-Sonoma. Okay? And if I had a second audience I wanted to test, it might be, silicone spatula set dash Cook's World, and then silicone spatula set dash Martha Stewart. Okay? I test one audience per ad set. I don't group audiences. Again, this is a little outside the scope of this particular beginner webinar, but I just wanted to show you the campaign setup here. So I literally just name it, very descriptive. Product dash audience, and I click create. Now this is where we tell it what our budget is and who we're targeting. Okay, so see where it says audience? This is what we have to edit. Now, make sure that it says all USA. You don't want to do Australia, New Zealand. Why? Because 99% of you are going to be on Amazon.com. And if somebody from Australia clicked on your ad and tried to order it, Amazon wouldn't even ship it to them. So make sure that says all US. And then you have some important demographic information here. Age, again, I'm just making this up. This would be based on your audience. And again, this is outside the scope of this particular webinar. But let's say we want to target women age 25 and up. So click on women. Okay, and now this is, what I just highlighted there in the upper right is sort of a summary of what our potential reach is as we add these various factors here, age, gender, and now we're going to add interest. Now in interest, this is where I start typing in Williams-Sonoma. I just keep typing it in until it pops up. Now, see this here? See it says 2.704 million people. That's if I chose everybody on Williams-Sonoma, but remember, I'm overlaying that with an age range of 25 and up and women. So watch how it changes it to 1.7 million people now. And that's fine. That's very targeted. And then I click Save. And now we move, oh, I'm sorry. They added the placements also under ad sets now. The only 2 placements I leave turned on is mobile newsfeed and desktop newsfeed. I turn off the right column and the partner mobile apps. So keep those checked and uncheck this one and uncheck that one. Okay. Clicks to website, and again, they keep changing this as of the time of this recording. The only 2 options that they provide us is get the most website clicks to the best price, and that's what I'm finding works best for right now, that one right there. They're just trying to simplify their platform. Now we click on ads, and this is where we're going to create the ad. This is where you want to follow along. Click the plus sign to make the ad. Click the campaign, the ad set, and I literally, I know it's kind of redundant the way we do this, but I just change this to ad. So I always know what I'm looking at. Make sure it says clicks to website, and make sure that the appropriate new Facebook fan page is selected. In this case, Chef Georges Louis. Okay. Now you want to have create new or edit checked off, just like that. So this is where we put, see where it says website URL? Paste in your forced opt-in lander right there. That's the URL that you use. Now, whenever you change something on the middle of the screen, it gives an update on the right-hand side of the screen. So check this out. See, right now this is all it looks like. It's just, it just grabbed that image from that lander. Now for text, this is where you put the text in. It looks like want top-rated silicone spatula set for $1. So paste that text in there, and then again, I preview it over here. Make sure everything's looking kosher. Okay, good to go. Still not perfect though. Link description. I found this works the best. Insane Amazon.com launch deal. And the headline should say, grab this for $1 now. Now let's just take a look at where that shows up. Right there. Right there. See that? So it's now to the right of that little image. But this is going to change, but I just want to make sure that's how it's looking, at least for now, which is correct. And now we want to upload our image. So we click Select Image. We're going to drag that image that we just created in Photoshop right here. Make sure it's checked off, and click Select. And now, see how it moved down the grab this for $1 now to underneath that image? And that's what you want. So that's looking pretty darn good. That's going to pop. And then we want that little Shop Now button to pop up. So see where it says Call to Action? change that to Shop Now, right there. And there you go. That's what the ad looks like. Okay. You can click on the mobile newsfeed button to see what it looks like on a cell phone. And that thing's looking kick-ass. All right. Now, in the old days, you would click Audience and Optimize and Price, and you'd edit stuff there. But now, with the new format, it says this is configured at the ad set level. See, right there. So we already told what audience, and we already told it the bidding. So, okay. All right. So that is it. That is how to create a successful Facebook ad campaign. So you just learned how to rank an Amazon product, right? Some practical issues here. You got to reserve your inventory in batches. Now, this is all taught in Wilson Matos's PDF that is found in the ASM Masters bonus section here. Okay, so like in other words, you don't want to expose your entire inventory so that it can be rated by these deal sites. Believe me, I've been there. I've done that. There's nothing more disheartening to wait a month for your inventory to finally arrive, and then you start to promote it, and in one freaking day, your inventory is wiped out because somebody shared your coupon on Slick Deals. Yeah, that kind of ruined my day. So you want to make sure that only, let's say, 50 units of your inventory is exposed. So if somebody goes rogue with your coupon, or they share your instructional landing page, that you can quickly deactivate that coupon, and you'll only ever lose that exposed inventory. Very, very important. I would say that's a 100% rule. You always want to reserve that inventory. Very easy to do if you follow along in that PDF. Now, bigger picture, remember from webinar number 2, think in terms of 4-day waves. So, i.e., how many 4-day waves will we have to commence with until we rank? I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball. You really won't know until you start your campaign. Might be 4 days. You might have to cycle through 2 or 3 or 4 times. You just don't know. Too many factors. It depends on the comparative daily sales volume for the guys already on page 1. For a non-competitive market, they're going to be selling way less with a lower conversion rate. You'll rank way faster than a super, super duper competitive market where they're selling hundreds of units a day with a high on-page conversion rate. So that's why we say it's probably best starting out that you don't go after those home run markets where there's tons of competition, because there's just that additional level of hurdle that you would have to overcome. Other things is, we're building assets here, so I never want you to lose sight of that. So we're building these various assets here, right? People that have opted in. And you can reuse these, to successfully launch future products. So when we look at the frontline costs of advertising, they're really not what they are. So if you spent $300 on advertising, is it really $300? No, because you get to reuse that next time. So it brings your per unit cost for this marketing funnel down and down and down and down over time, because you get to keep reusing these same assets. So you only have the hard cost once. And one thing that, again, runs outside the scope of this webinar, but you can build your review funnel on the back end, which is what I do. All right, final segment. So you've been handed a huge competitive advantage with all these ASM Masters bonuses that you got from Jason and Wilson. As we wrap up this coaching bonus webinar series, and I leave you, let me finish with some tips on how to avoid failure with ASM and how to avoid failure with Amazon in general. And I call this module 12 Reasons People Can Fail with ASM, and exactly what to do about it so it never happens to you. So I figured that the best way to wrap up our coaching together is to steer you clear of the landmines that can lead to failure with Amazon. And these observations are based upon hundreds of hours of one-on-one, in-the-trenches ASM consults that I've done, as well as my own experiences building an Amazon business and probably making every mistake in the book that you can imagine I've made. It also comes from attending every single Amazon event, networking like crazy, and getting to know most of the top dogs on a very intimate level. I would say take heed of these 12 landmines here, because this advice will hold you in good stead when I turn you loose into the wild here. All right, so failure cause number 1, being married to your product. And I love this little image. It says, keep calm and don't get married. They weren't talking about Amazon products, but you get the point. I find this to be the number 1 cause of early ASM failure. People get married to their product. I can understand why, but don't let this happen to you. Because when you get married to a product, it causes several bad things to happen all at once. You'll be so in love with this that it will blind you to the fact that maybe it's oversaturated, or you'll overspend. You'll justify why. Well, even though the price isn't what it needs to be from China, damn it, I know this is going to do well, so I'm gonna cave and I'm gonna pay much more than I should. You'll overspend. It'll also later on blind you from recognition that it might be a dog ultimately, and that you shouldn't invest any further money, and that you should get out of that, and you should get into product number 2 as quickly as possible. You won't be able to, because of ever-deepening commitment and emotion, you're going to try to bend the rules to kind of fit that product into the ASM methodology, even though it really doesn't belong, because you've maybe done a market test, you bought a low initial inventory, and it just didn't pop. Next, So pick products in the same way that you would invest in stocks. Zero emotion, objective, viciously objective, in fact, using a set of criteria that removes all emotion. The reason that people fall in love with the product is because they see like a scarcity of product opportunities, I think. So like in other words, they think, this is going to be the one. Marge, pop open a champagne. This is the one that's going to build our mansion. And I think that they feel like there's not a lot of opportunities on Amazon, which cracks me up because I always have the opposite problem. I have too many opportunities. You see, in reality, there are literally, not metaphorically, there are literally thousands and thousands and thousands of product label opportunities out there. Therefore, there's never a need to fall in love with one product. All right? So look at product number 1 as your education. I've said this throughout this beginner webinar series. This is not going to be your mansion builder. This is your education. If you make money on your first product, terrific. I'll high five you. But that's not the right way to look at it. Your first product is where you're going to learn the business. Anything you might make in terms of money is a bonus. And what that does, it takes all the pressure off you. Now, the antidote to this disease of being married to your product is always have a large list of private label product opportunities. Every day be adding to that list. This is holiday time, so the next time you're in, I don't know, let's say a cooking store, oh my God, you should walk out of that cooking store with at least 10 awesome private label opportunities that are just kind of, that just entered your consciousness just by looking around and seeing what people are super interested in and playing with, right? So what we want is a feeling of being literally awash with product ideas. And the second antidote is to adopt the mindset that you're going to be releasing several products, not just this one. Therefore, you really don't care if this one is your home run or not, and therefore your entire business isn't going to hinge on any one product, i.e. it's easy to get divorced from your product with this multiple product line mindset, right? Okay, failure cause number 2. And I learned this early on. Ordering too little inventory. Bad mistake. And this was my first mistake. I was overly conservative on my first order. Why? Well, I was nervous, I guess. I don't know. I didn't know what I was doing. But using my marketing funnel that I just shared in depth with you, I was able to quickly rank my product, and then guess what happened? I was out of inventory, damn it. So I got all dressed up with nowhere to go. So I ranked, then ran out of inventory, which means no sales until that reorder came in. And trust me, every day that I was out of inventory, it drove me nuts. So don't repeat my mistake. So here's the antidote. You need enough inventory for, number 1, friend and family reviews. So just get a fixed number in your mind. How many do you have to give away to net 15 to 20 5-star reviews? Then you need enough to sell your product ongoing with Amazon ads. And then you need enough for stage 3, which is to unleash my $1 giveaway to rank your product. So I hate when people say, well, how much? Well, I don't know. It depends, right? If you're entering like a super competitive arena, then stage 3 for you, your $1 giveaways has to be way higher than if you're in a far less competitive field, right? So there is no magic number. It's all product dependent. But common sense rule applies. If you're going to go into rat traps, you're probably going to need 60 for friend and family reviews to net 20 5-star reviews. You're going to probably want to have a few hundred on there just as regular inventory to support your Amazon ads. And then, see, for rat traps, you probably don't need to give that many away. So I might only give away 20 a day for 4 days, right? So it'd be fairly easy to come up with a figure. Now, if I was entering, let's say, Garcinia, Cambodia, oh my God, 1 and 2 would stay the same, but number 3, I'd have to get way more inventory if I want to compete in that super kind of competitive arena. All right. Failure cause number 3, the fear of China. Ooh, China. All right, listen. Don't allow your business to be ruled by comfort zones. Now, I know it seems safer to buy your inventory stateside here in the USA, but guys, is it really? No. Alibaba has different certifications, like a gold supplier, a certified supplier. These certifications, just so you know, it costs these manufacturers thousands of dollars to maintain them, okay? And so you can literally limit your search to just people that are gold suppliers. And then to the right here, I'll just show you this real quick here. Let me just pause something here. Give me one quick second. I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. Alibaba. All right. Let's do hummingbird feeder. So first thing I do, check off gold supplier, on-site check. I do not check assessed supplier because this really limits you to the largest factories. Now look at this person right here, number 1. This guy is a 4-year gold supplier. So he's been paying these fees, thousands of dollars, for 4 years. Do you think if they're going to scam you, they would spend money to become certified? No. Now contrast this to doing a blind Google research and, hey, gee, I'm going to live under this illusion that somehow a USA supplier is more ethical than a Chinese supplier. What the hell makes you think that? You're just doing a blind Google search with none of these certifications. So, you have just as much of a chance of being scammed from a blind Google search from somebody in the USA or less of a chance than somebody who paid for these certifications, right? I'm not saying a USA manufacturer or a China manufacturer or a whatever manufacturer won't ultimately, screw you over. It happens in business. But I can tell you I've been screwed over more by USA companies and vendors in my business career than I have by the Chinese. I've had nothing but a good experience with the Chinese. Will I probably get screwed at some point? Sure, it happens, right? It just happens. But I just want you to get rid of this illusion that somehow China is a scarier place than just doing a blind Google search and dealing with USA, because that's just not the case. So China offers the absolute lowest prices on goods. Anybody selling physical products in the USA and then saying they're a wholesaler, they're buying them from China directly, and they're just marking them up on you. So why the hell would you buy from them? You can buy them at a fraction of the price direct from China. Walk into like Michael's Arts and Crafts or Target. 99% of the stuff found on that shelves is made in China, right? And I love this little symbol here of the Chinese Apple logo. Do you like the iPhone? Okay, so do I. So flip it over, and it says, designed in Cupertino, California, but made in China. So if China is good enough for Apple, and they are now officially the largest, most successful corporation on earth. I just read in the New York Times they are valued at $700 billion, which means there are 19 governments, countries, that aren't worth as much as they are. Isn't that insane? If it's good enough for Apple, maybe China's good enough for us. So the antidote is, hey, are you still afraid of China? Well, get over it by practicing with a product that you have no intention of ever releasing. So if you have no intention of releasing, let's say, hummingbird feeders, guess what you're going to do? Just start contacting, contact 20 these hummingbird feeder suppliers, and just hammer them and negotiate with them and take it right to the point where you would normally order, so you just shake off your nerves and then tackle your real product. Okay. I also filmed a whole video of my entire step-by-step how to negotiate with the Chinese process. It's called How to Negotiate with China. It was filmed live. You can find that in the ASM Masters bonus section under the live seminar videos. All right, let me failure cause number 4, bringing the world of internet marketing into physical products. This is a biggie. Now, I'm not from the world of internet marketing. I've bought internet marketing products to grow other companies, but it's a unique industry. Let me put it that way. In the world of internet claims, stack the bonuses like crazy, use super hardcore long-form sales copy, then offer a literally too good to be true money-back guarantee, right? That's like standard for internet marketing. And yeah, this works to sell paper and ink info products. Why? Because they're intangible. You have to. But guys, don't bring the old world into the new world. Internet marketing is its own niche. When you use this in physical products, all it does is it causes worry and alarm. Like you ever go sit in front of a life insurance salesman and you ask him a question and they go on and on and on. It's like, boy, there must be something wrong here, because he goes on and on and on. He's just not giving me the bottom line. So you start getting worried. Just your instincts, and all those kind of intuitive alarm bells start going off. It's like because he's trying too hard. I see this happening when IMers try to apply the IM cheeseball tactics to physical products. You don't have to sell so hard. These are low price points, and these are impulse price points. What you don't want to do is kick in the I just barfed in my mouth effect, okay? Because it triggers the, gee, what is wrong here? Why is this guy trying so hard? So just some tips. Avoid using like the cheesy little stars and check marks and these weird characters that no one else uses on Amazon. Avoid these really cheap, cheesy, low-quality graphics because you're trying to save money and you just slap them up from some poor-quality designer from Fiverr. I mean, the whole gig here is to trick people into thinking that we are a big brand that they might have heard of. So, that's how you compete as a private labeler, right, against a brand they have heard of. Well, guess what? If your images stink and you're using all these cheesy stars and then you're throwing in non-related bonuses just to try to puff up value, oh, gosh, I mean, that's going to have a detrimental effect. It's not going to help you. And I get it. Trust me, I get it. I mean, I'm a direct marketer, old school. I mean, I started with Jay Abraham, Dan Kennedy. I have no problem with hard selling. But the point is, you want to use what is working best for conversions rate within the context of the platform. This stuff doesn't work on Amazon. Instead, apply like the James Dyson. He's the guy who invented like the Dyson vacuum cleaner. Think in terms of how James Dyson might explain the benefits of one of his physical products versus some IMer who is releasing, the latest crappy WSO. And I promise you, just have trust in me, your conversion rates on Amazon will soar. This is a picture from the JetBlue wing of JFK Airport. The people in that men's room probably thought I was nuts. I took a picture. This was posted right above the Dyson Airblade. This is perfect copy. Insert hands. Raise and lower through the airflow. Dry in 12 seconds. No more paper towels into waste. I mean, that is how you should do your bullets. That's how you write your titles. There's no cheesy stars. There's no, hey, if you get this, you'll get a ebook that isn't worth the paper it's not written on, right? It's focused on unique selling propositions and in the highest level of benefit in a non-hypey way. Think in terms of James Dyson, apply it to Amazon. Don't think in terms of releasing a WSO. All right. Failure cause number 5. Too much laziness and not enough hustle. It's like this guy in this picture. He says, I'm not lazy. I just take a lot of horizontal life pauses. So I continue to do and wrap up my obligatory ASM3 101 sessions. So when they released ASM3, part of the bonus package was these one-on-one consults. And so as those consults, so you had to pick 4 products to get consult number 1. But then you actually had to have a product ordered and have your listing built out to get consult number 2. And then consult number 3, you had to do $10,000 a month in gross sales. So I thought for sure I'd have a crap load of consult number 1s and consult number 2s. You would not believe how few ASMers ever made it or even qualified for consult number 2. It's crazy. You know, the herd grows slimmer and slimmer when it comes to transitioning from observing from the stands passively versus getting your butt on the field, in the game, you know, playing. And I mean, absolutely no disrespect to anybody on this webinar, but I believe people are way lazier than they think they are. You know, most had full-time jobs or businesses, just like I did. I had a full-time business, and we all had to fit in ASM before or after work. Well, how many do you think had the hustle to wake up at 4 a.m. every day and do whatever it took to make things happy? I believe very few people. And I think it comes down to a low work ethic, low discipline, and flat out being lazy slugs. You know, and yet if I were to ask 1,000 ASMers if they were lazy, not a single one would raise their hand. That's because no one ever thinks they're the lazy one, right? But let me give you just a quick dose of reality. Here is an article that I found very interesting called Top Habits of Wealthy CEOs. The number 1 habit across the board was, number 1, they get up early. I just want to read some of this. Rising early is a nearly universal trait amongst successful CEOs. New Jersey Net CEO Brett Yormack gets up at 3:30 a.m. Virgin America CEO David Cush starts the day at 4:15 a.m. Robert Iger, CEO of Disney, says he gets up at 4:30 every morning. Dan Akerson, the former CEO of GM, says he rarely sleeps past 4:30 or 5 in the morning. The list goes on, but the theme stays the same. If you want to rise through the ranks and join these big players in the business world, you won't do it by staying in bed. Even if you don't know what 4 a.m. looks like, you're missing out on a big opportunity to add more productivity to your day. Rise early and get the workday started right. This extra time will make it easier for you to incorporate the rest of these smart CEO habits. Isn't it interesting? My son has this shirt. It was actually by Nike, and it says "Never Out Hustled." And you know, it's a sports shirt, but I love it. I love that philosophy. Don't ever get out hustled by other people on Amazon. If you're not seeing progress in your Amazon business, I challenge you: wake up 2 to 3 hours earlier every day. No freaking excuses, guys. If you want your life to change, you got to change. So wake up earlier. Yeah, I know it sucks. And use that time that you wake up earlier to take massive action on what? Doing the most effective 80-20 activities. Again, never be out hustled, you know. I know that I'm willing, me personally, I'm willing to outwork my competition. I'll do whatever it takes. When I recently launched 3 brand new products simultaneously, it was not uncommon for me to wake up at 4 a.m. and work until 12 or 1 o'clock. Now, was that a grind for those 2 or 3 weeks? Yeah. You got to do what it takes, though, because, you know, when you're starting a business, it's like pushing a boulder uphill with your nose. You got to put in the time, the work, the effort. You got to get your butts up. You got to stay up late. You got to do what it takes. I believe to be successful in business, and I know, you know, this is kind of the opposite of what you hear in the world of internet marketing, but the most successful people I've met, they work hard, they're focused, they play hard. And like, don't get me wrong, they have a life, but they're willing to put in the long yards when it's game time. And I find that most people give up way too early. And that's why I like to say, guys, you have no competition, because no one's willing to wake up early. Trust me. You know, like I said on an earlier webinar, I think our first webinar in my beginner series, is you could literally airlift the entire ASM course and drop it from airplanes to every single American, and hardly anybody would take action on it because they're lazy. You have no competition, I'm telling you. All right. Failure cause number 6, not getting enough 5-star reviews. This is an interesting one to me. I never thought that this would be an issue, but I find that people, like, they just kind of want to conveniently skip this step. So, like, for example, on the last webinar I did, I gave you, and I was very clear, I said you got to get 15 to 25-star reviews. First and foremost, you can't move on to the next stage or you know, section of the submarine, right, until you get that base of social proof. Yet, right after I said that, somebody asked me a question, several people said, hey, if I just want to just start off with your dollar, you know, with your dollar funnel, blah, 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 and I just was like, oh my gosh. No, you can't do that. You got to get that base, that initial base of 15 to 25-star reviews will form the foundation of success around which everything else will click. So I know you want to do things faster. I get that. You know, you want to skip right to running Amazon ads, or you want to skip right to running my dollar funnel. You can't do it. You got to get that base. That base of reviews is what will give you then higher conversion rates when you run Amazon ads, when you do the dollar funnel. Don't skip the steps. That's just my opinion. You know, you can do what you want. It's your business, but I care about you guys, and I want you to be successful, and I don't want you to repeat my mistakes that I made. You know, I'm very impatient. Believe me, it's torture for me to wait to get 15 to 20 5-star reviews before I pull the trigger on other things. So the antidote, obviously, is while getting the 15 to 20 reviews does admittedly delay you a couple weeks, and it may tempt you to take shortcuts, don't do it, okay? Because it'll just set you back even further, okay? And again, you guys have zero, I repeat, zero excuses for not being able to get easily 25-star reviews, whether you're in the States or out of the States, because I taught you exactly how to do this with friends and family, or with Craigslist, or with Facebook groups, or with forums. And I even gave you like the sample listing and everything. You have no excuses. Don't you hate when somebody takes away all your excuses? All right, failure cause number 7, taking too long to pull the trigger. It's like this lady says, I've been overthinking about overthinking again. There's immense value in getting in a game versus passively just, you know, going through the ASM course. So at a certain point, you just have to say, screw it, I'm going to get in the game, even if this product isn't perfect, even if the time isn't perfect. You know, in life, the time's never perfect. You know, you always have the vacation coming up, the son's graduation, the big project at work. The time is never right. You just got to get in the game. And unlike fine wine that gets better with age, the longer you postpone getting in the game on Amazon, getting that product sourced in on Amazon, the further you reduce the chances that you'll ever actually do anything in this business. So mission critical, urgently, pick the product, get it sourced, get it on Amazon. Remember, you are looking at that first product not as your mansion builder, but as how you're going to learn this business. So it takes all the pressure off. Okay. The other antidote is to set a firm, absolute deadline date. So let's say you're one of these people that you've been kind of, you know, you got delayed because something happened, and then the holidays kicked in, and you know, look, I get it. You know, I run a business in a real world too. Then here's what you got to do. No matter what, you're going to set a date. You're going to write it on your calendar, and you're not going to put it in pencil. You're going to put it in pen. And on that date, you're going to pick the product, and then you're going to pick the supplier to place your first order no matter what. We call it the gun to your head mindset. Picture somebody held a gun to your head and said, okay, if you don't actually pick the product by this date and then place your order by that date, we're going to pull the trigger. If that was your reality, you would somehow find a way to get it done, would you not? All right. Failure cause number 8, throwing good money after bad. Okay, this is related to being married to your product. What we're talking about here is emotions in the world of business. So one of the biggest causes of ASM failure that I've observed is continued investment into a loser product in a market that maybe is super competitive, oversaturated. You know, essentially what I'm saying here is you're trying to force a dog into being a star through continued investment. That's a bad mistake. You're much better off in recognizing, okay, you know what, I gave it a good college try. I put it through Ben's 3-stop Amazon product launch. It's just not happening. Rather than invest another X, how about I just pick a new product that's far less competitive, and let's try to make that one pop. And in fact, let's set a goal to release several products this year so that the 80-20 can kick in. Because remember, Ben's goal is not to have every product a winner. Ben's goal is a product mix where over time, if you have 10 products, a couple are home runs, the bulk of them are passive income earners where you're going to make a good positive return on your money, base hits, and then a couple are dogs. Maybe you just got unlucky and your first product was your dog. Who knows? Maybe your second product will be a home run or a passive income earner. Okay? So what you want to do, the best indication of a dog versus a star is the marketplace. You know, just let the marketplace tell you if it's a dog versus a star. Here's what I found. Certain products will just jive with consumers better than others. You almost can't predict it. It's like, I don't know, just the way you wrote it, just the name you gave it, and just everything's clicked. And it's hard to be predictive with that, right? I think I'm pretty darn good and have come up with systems for building out listings and doing really ninja keyword research. And I just taught a module on how to make thousands of dollars with Amazon ads, right? But the issue is, you know, not every product is going to be a home run. Just certain products, again, I can't explain it other than just all the stars sometimes are in alignment with certain products, and it's hard to predict, you know? So my mindset is this. When I release a new product, I do my absolute best to make a product successful, but understand that the 80-20 principle is going to rule, you know? So the antidote is this. It's similar to the antidote for avoiding being overly emotional about a product, you know, being married to a product. So antidote number one is release multiple products. Trust me, when you have multiple products, you are no longer as emotional about any one product. Second, always maintain a large list of product ideas. And then, as a tactical effort, after making your best effort, don't be afraid to say to yourself, okay, you know what, this one is going to be a passive income earner instead of a home run. So what can I release next? What product can I put on Amazon? You know, products are like New York taxi cabs. You stand in the street, you raise your arm. If one blows by you, your mentality isn't, I'm a loser, I'm a failure. Your mentality is, there's 100 right behind him, next. So look at that as a nice analogy with Amazon. There are so many product opportunities that if that first cab just didn't work out, there's 100 right behind them that will work out. All right. I just mentioned Amazon sponsored ads. In my monthly coaching program, I taught exactly how to use this, and people were just blown away by it, they told me. And I was actually kind of surprised how few of them were using Amazon sponsored ads. They're like intimidated by it. So I would say that one of the biggest causes for failure, maybe not failure, but one of the biggest opportunity gaps is not using Amazon ads. First of all, it's a great tool to uncover your best keywords that your market is responding to. So like in other words, even if you didn't want to look at your Amazon ads as a long-term thing that you're doing, at a minimum, what it will do is say, oh boy, you know what? For these sets of keywords, for whatever reason, my product isn't jiving with them, but for this keyword, again, for who knows why, Amazon, you know, those consumers love it. So what you might do is at that point say, well, gee, I'm going to start, you know, I need to rank for that keyword. So maybe you do my $1 funnel for that brand new keyword that you didn't think was going to be that valuable. But now you have market data within your Amazon ads account, and you see that it is going to, you know, do extremely well for you. So you target that one keyword, you run my dollar funnel, you target it using the ASM ranker. Okay? So that is a ninja tactic that I just shared with you that you can dial in a so-so profitable product and make it extremely profitable by getting data from that Amazon ads campaign. Now I actually do like to run ongoing Amazon ads campaign. This is something that I do in stage 2 of my product launch, but then once I'm ranking on page 1, I really give this the most attention, where I try to create what I call Las Vegas slot machines. And here is like the analogy that I like to use. So let's say you and I are hanging out in the Bellagio casino. I'm in front of a slot machine. Every time I put in $1, that particular slot machine spits out $3 back to me. Question: if every time I put in $1 into a slot machine, it spit out $3, how long should I play that slot machine? The correct answer is forever. So what I like to do is I like to start my Amazon ad campaign in a way that I'm always looking for that 5% of the keywords that are going to make me 80% of the sales or 90% of the sales. I call those my Las Vegas slot machines, and these are keywords that I'm earning 2 to 1, 3 to 1, 4 to 1 on my money. If I know that every time I spend $1, I'm making back $3, what should your daily budget be? Again, the correct answer should be infinite, right? $1,000, $2,000 a day, whatever it takes, because every time you insert money, you're going to get back, that times 3. So, big picture, you want to be looking at your Amazon sponsored ads as, what are my Vegas slot machines? Where can I really cash in this particular campaign? And the other way to look at Amazon sponsored ads, if you have a languishing product, if you have a product that isn't quite performing how you like, then the solution is to increase its visibility. Well, how do you do that without spending a ton of money? Well, you can run an Amazon ads campaign, and if you bid high enough, you can essentially skip the line and rank on page 1. Now, you won't really rank in the traditional sense, but you'll rank in the sense that you're appearing on page 1 because you bid high enough for that keyword. So it's a good way to boost your visibility and get the financial pump going again, and hopefully start ranking for those keywords. Okay, failure cause number 10. And I almost left this one off because I didn't think this would be very popular, but I felt honor bound to share my insights here. And I would say that copywriting, meaning the skill to write bullets and headlines and emails, sales copy, is going to be one of those skills that you really need to learn and get better and better and better at. It is one skill that will take your Amazon business to that next level. I mentioned that I had recently come back from a 10-day vacation on the island of St. Bart's, and on the airplane I was reflecting on what are those things that made my path to $114,000 a month on Amazon. What led to some of that? And one of the things that I learned was this, that one of the most critical skills in this business to learn is copywriting. Why? Because you're going to use it to build out your listings, for your titles, your bullet points, your product description. All these emails, whether they're for your dollar funnel follow-up emails, for your ASM email tool emails, you're going to need good copy when you create landing pages on your own. You're going to need good copy when you deal with various customer support issues, right? On and on and on. Even to avert 1-star reviews, you have to write good copy. I recently we had a major issue with one of our products that Amazon had messed up. They had made a big error, and we had to get it fixed before the big holiday season. Well, I literally wrote a sales letter, in an email, and very quickly we had that problem fixed. And that's the power of learning to write good copy. So, and good copywriting will play a part, even more so, when you start to develop your own e-commerce platforms outside of Amazon. Very quickly you're going to build a website where you feature your e-commerce things. You're going to need copywriting skills to make your YouTube video scripts, and on and on and on, for press releases. I could go on. So let me give you a couple books. This will get you a very good foundational base of how to write copy. There's a guy named Joseph Sugarman. I actually got to hang out in a mastermind meeting with him. I'm friends with a guy named Joe Polish. And in like 2003, I can't remember the exact date, but Joe invited me, John Carlton, who's a great copywriter, this guy Joe Sugarman, a bunch of other people. And I got to meet Joe. Joe is one of these guys who is one of my heroes in copywriting. He is a guy who built a very successful physical products company on the back of good copywriting. He was also one of the first guys to use TV infomercials. You might remember one of his products, Blue Blockers. He was so successful using copy to sell physical products, he was able to buy and build, I think it's like a $20 or $30 million mansion on one of the Hawaiian Islands. I mean, the guy walks the talk. So it's called Advertising Secrets of the Written Word by Joseph Sugarman. Very, very good. This is the other guy that I consider one of my mentors. I got to speak at some Dan Kennedy seminars in the 1990s and 2000s when I was doing my practice management company. Dan is a real deal. I consider him one of the best living copywriters in my opinion. This book right here lays out his step-by-step process. It's called The Ultimate Sales Letter by Dan S. Kennedy. Both those books, put those on your reading list. Make that one of your New Year's resolutions. Learn copywriting or improve your copywriting. If you have a good copywriting base, then you might actually have to unlearn some of the hypey style of writing from the internet marketing world, and you might want to shift a bit to e-commerce type of copywriting, because e-commerce copywriting is different than internet marketing copywriting. Okay, all right. Here's an interesting one, and I believe this is a cause for failure. Obsessing way too much about one-star reviews. I have seen people go ballistic on the ASM forums from a one-star review, spend hours upon hours upon hours trying to get it removed, trying to, go after the guy, trying to uncover if it was a competitor, going nuts. And guess what happens when you dedicate that much emotion, time, and resources to one little aspect of your business? Well, he couldn't spend time ranking the product. He couldn't spend time finding his next product. He couldn't spend time, growing his business. Now, I have been guilty of this too, trust me. When I first got started, I nearly gave myself a freaking ulcer stressing about getting 1- and 2-star reviews. I mean, what I realized one day was I was giving these low reviews way too much emotional weight, and I would literally allow them to consume so much of my time. It was crazy. So here's a reality. Just, this is good to hear right now. You guys are relatively new to Amazon. This is a good mindset. This will help you mellow out about this. If you don't have a 1-star review yet, you're going to get one soon. Okay? 1-star reviews happen. Move on. A certain percentage of the American public are insane. I'm talking literally insane. Okay? So odds are one of these insane people that are just whack jobs. They might be crack addicts. They might be literally just let out of the institution. Well, if they buy your product, they're going to leave you maybe a bizarre review. It happens. Okay? Now, this is what I learned with a little more maturity in this Amazon business. A really successful listing without some negative reviews actually looks overly suspicious to the typical consumer. So, like, in other words, a listing can look too good if all you have are 5 stars. It looks fake to people. So if you're doing any sort of volume, any sort of sales on Amazon, you're going to get 1-star reviews. Move on. Just, embrace them, know they're coming, do your best to turn around a 1-star review through, knock their socks off service. But once you've done your best, move on with your life and refocus on those aspects of your business that you can control. And finally, failure cause number 12 is not building your own assets. Guys, what business are we really in? Well, if you adhere strictly to ASM, we're really in the business of building Amazon's assets, not our assets. With the marketing tactics I've shown you, though, they allow you to take back control to build your own assets. So your own email list, your own review club list, your opt-in list from forced landers, and eventually buyer list, and so on. And when you start building your own assets, in addition to leveraging Amazon, it allows you to build a stable, legitimate business that eventually isn't going to be 100% reliant on the Amazon platform. All right, so I'm going to take questions for about 15 minutes, and then I do have to go because I am leaving for the ASM Cabo Mastermind here pretty soon. So go ahead and type in your questions here. So Rick says, I have a domain of SDG content marketing. Is this generic enough for my website name? No, because that has no relevancy. You want something like, you know, blah, blah, you know, Rick's Deals, ricksinsanedeals.com. Holly says, now that MerchantWorks has changed their algorithm, what are you using instead of 80,000 searches? Holly, I've been so busy because it's been Black Friday and Cyber Monday and all this kind of stuff that I actually haven't had a chance to come up with any new rules of thumb. I honestly have only briefly looked at it yet, so I don't have anything new to report as of right now. So Maggie says, once I start the $1 promo using Aweber, should I be concerned with Feedback Genius sending emails too? No, because they're going to get 2 emails that encourage them to buy it for $1, and then they're not going to hear from me again until I send a follow-up emails, you know, that the 7-day period later. Okay, the ASM emails are going to be written slightly different, right? And we're talking about the ASM email tool style emails. Those are more about the product. Hey, you know, did you receive your product? You know, do you have any feedback for me? Blah 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 blah. So no, those two go hand in hand perfectly. Holly says, in ASM Masters, it's suggested one way to differentiate is to add a bonus. How would you recommend doing it, if not by adding a cheesy IM report? Or are you against this practice? In most cases, I have not, me personally, I know it sounds logical that offering what's called a soft bonus, like something that isn't actually included with the packaging. So when you show an image of a book, what you mean is an ebook, but what I've seen happen is people leave 1-star reviews going, yeah, you know, they promised me a book, and they didn't even leave me the book. See, people don't know what an ebook is. You know, you and I do, but most people don't. And I don't have enough evidence that things like an ebook add significant value to the listing that it's worthwhile. Like, in other words, what I always wrestle with is I only have 7 spots where I can put in an image. Okay, will replacing one of my benefit product-focused images that enhances one of the reasons why they must buy my product, to get rid of that, to throw in some fluff that they may or may not care about. Remember, they're looking at my listing because they want a rat trap, not because they want an ebook on the 7 ways to get rid of rats in your house. So I don't know. I guess I disagree with that. Yeah, I would not use bonuses unless they have some logical tie-in. I do use bonuses, but I do it in a better way, I think. I don't even advertise them. I will include a PDF in with those email follow-ups saying, oh, by the way, this PDF might enhance your use of this product. There's one product in particular where we do that, and it just works much better. And then you avoid those 1 stars because they claim that they didn't get the book, but you meant an ebook, and blah, 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 blah. Roman wants some comments on shipping by ocean. Roman, that goes outside the scope of this call. I'm going to try to keep most of the questions related to what we taught today here. Have you done any training on Amazon ads? I have, but not as part of this beginner series. In my ongoing monthly coaching program, I do teach Amazon ads and the best way to do that. How do you edit the images if you don't have Photoshop? Easy. Go to Fiverr.com and contact one of the guys there that do images, and the sort of edits that we're talking about are so freaking easy that they'll do it for $5, probably same day, super easy stuff. Tarun wants to know, do you have someone over in China to do you communication with Chinese manufacturers? No, we do them ourselves using email and Skype, just exactly like I teach on that video. Steven says, thanks for the tip on using HTML, extremely valuable. I hate WordPress anyway. Wastes too much time. Yeah, it does waste a lot of time, and you're constantly updating plugins, and the big issue is it's just too slow loading. Nicholas says, when will you be opening up your coaching group to ASM4? Jason and Wilson, we are in discussions for that, and I hope to reopen it soon for you guys. Eric says, I'm not from IM. Can you tell me more about Aweber? Aweber is simply an email management platform. So like the emails that you get from Jason Wilson, you don't think they're sitting there individually emailing people one at a time, do you? No, what they're using is Aweber, where it captures everybody's email addresses, and then you can send what's called an autoresponder, or you can send out what's called a broadcast. So that's what you want to use Aweber for. We have several questions about if I'm going to be opening up my coaching soon, and the answer is yes. Just be looking for an email from Jason or Wilson. I don't know the exact date and blah blah blah. Okay, so Patricia Baker basically is asking, do you release products based around a niche, or just kind of are you throwing a bunch of spaghetti against the wall? Okay, so here is the progression that happens in the real world. Well, okay, ideally you would release products built around one niche, but that's like ideal. But in reality, what I found happens is this: you don't know which niche is going to take off for you. So how my business evolved was, I just got in a game. We released our first product. My second product was kind of related to that first product. Then we threw some more spaghetti against the wall, and we released a product in a completely different niche. That one really took off, and so that's where we started to build up our product mix a bit more. So in the real world, you're going to throw some boy, I'm having hard time talking 2.5 hours in. Sorry guys. At the beginning, you're going to throw a bunch of spaghetti at the wall, and the reality is, the spaghetti that really takes hold, that's where you'll probably, at that point, hone in using the 80-20 rule and expand your product mix in that niche that has really taken off. Shannon, I think I just kind of answered that question for you. Alan wants to know, is there a way to know which email addresses you have relate to which people who've done 5-star reviews for you? No, I don't. There's really no, well, the only way that you could do it is if you added, like, if you added a field here that said first name, last name, email. But I would not mess with that, because if you ask for any more of their personal information, it will kill your opt-in rates. Again, don't overthink this. Starting out, I used to be a hard rock guitar player, and one of my heroes was a guy named Eddie Van Halen. He was a really innovative guitar player, and he said something in the Guitar Player magazine in the 80s. He said, they said, well, why did you learn all these scales, like the Mixolydian scale and the blues scale and all these different styles of music? He said, because I knew that I had to learn the rules before I could break them. So I would sort of suggest the same thing to all of you. But before you get too creative and start changing things and doing variables that might mess up your results, just stick with my simple funnel, and live with a certain degree of imperfection. Ideally, I would love a way to have evidence that every single person that got my $1 thing left a review, but in the real world, it's just not worth the hassle of that. Tarun says, for the funnels, will they work for mobile? Yeah. Yeah, they do. Thanks, Brian. He wrote, holy shamoly, I'm an even hackier and older hack than you. Thank you for assuring me that a complete novice can do this. If I wake up at 4 a.m. and hit it, no matter how totally intimidated and inexperienced I am. Yeah. So, the big thing to keep in mind is no matter what, don't get stuck. Do not get stuck. Don't wimp out on this. Like, in other words, everybody else, let them wimp out, People give up at the stupidest little roadblocks. Do not allow yourself to get stuck on any roadblock. For example, like inevitably, I've seen it twice now, when we have a new batch of the ASM folks, hundreds of people say, oh my gosh, how do you install the ASM Ranker? I can't figure this out. I can't figure that out. Help, 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 help. And I just think to myself, for $20, they could go hire somebody right now, literally right now, on elance.com or on odesk.com. Literally right now, you could solve this problem. Within 1 hour, you could have it done. You could say, I have this script. I'm going to send you the script and a how-to video. It'll pay $20. It needs to be done within the hour. Only reply if you can do that. Done. Problem solved. Same thing with any of these things. Let's say that you try your best and you're like, Ben, damn it, I just can't figure out how to do yada yada. Run a job on Elance or Odesk, pay somebody $20, move on. Don't get stuck. Trust me, don't get stuck on this stuff. Shannon wants to know, is there some way to sign up for one-on-one coaching with me? Shannon, I really appreciate you wanting to give me more money. So I mean no disrespect at all in saying that I'm not doing any more one-on-one coaching. There is just no leverage in me doing that. Instead, what my one-on-one coaching has morphed into, and my one-on-one coaching is very expensive. It was $500 an hour with a certain minimum. But honestly, it was doing people a disservice because I instead now have a monthly coaching program where we get everybody onto one webinar where I can teach everybody what's working best for me in that format and then answer questions. And that's kind of how the group coaching format kind of came about. I never had any intention of becoming like an Amazon guru coach or anything like that. It literally came out because as a result of I was doing all these one-on-one coaching sessions last year or last spring, and everybody wanted to hire me after doing these one-on-one consults. And so I talked to my wife and we said, hey, let's do a group coaching thing because I'm no longer willing to trade time for money. There's no leverage in that. I can make way more money building my Amazon business. And people kept asking for help. So that's how we came out with the group coaching. And this is not some pitch for the group coaching. Those are my answers to people that several people have asked about one-on-one coaching and the group coaching and how that works. So, all right, let's see. Maggie says, do you personally use the ASM tools? Now, are you talking about like the free tools, like the ASM email tool and things like that? No. And I explained this on the previous webinar, on webinar number 2. I did a segment where I walked through the tools that I use. In the early days, I did use the ASM email tool, but it wasn't robust enough for my comfort level, and it was a bit complicated. So I, instead of using that tool, feedback. I use feedbackgenius.com, which is a paid tool that does the same thing as the ASM email tool. Again, if you're on a tight budget or you're brand new, just start out using the ASM email tool because something is better than nothing, right? But once you need a more robust application solely dedicated to sending out emails on the Amazon platform, you might want to switch to something like Feedback Genius. Frank says, how do we learn about your group coaching? I don't want to turn this into a big pitch for the group coaching, and I really do want to say thank you for all the questions about it because it means I guess you guys like this, so that's cool. But I don't know is the answer. Probably an email or a post from Jason. Rick says, you use Photoshop a lot. Should we buy this too? In the past, I would have said no because Photoshop was like $700 or $800, but recently Photoshop switched to like a monthly fee thing. I think if you just get Photoshop by itself, I think it's only like $20 a month. So I would say, I don't know. You know, there is a learning curve with the Photoshop. Again, I'm a hacker with all this stuff. I mean, I'm definitely not like a Photoshop expert. I literally sat and watched some YouTube tutorials on basics of Photoshop, and I just find it's just a speed thing for me. It's like really, you know, much faster for me to go from idea to market when I have the basics of like how to use Aweber, the basics of HTML, and the basics of like Photoshop. So I would say if you're willing to learn some of the basics, yeah, I would do it. If not, I would just hire somebody on Odesk, Fiverr, or Elance. Jack says, so am I correct that we need a hype website in addition to my regular product website? No, I'm not sure what you mean by that. No, I was saying that you don't want to use the internet marketing hype. What you might be asking is there a difference between like these website pages and like an e-commerce website? Sure, yeah, of course there is. You know, you at some point when you gain some traction, you want to do a nice looking e-commerce website, but I definitely wouldn't do it a hype website. You know. So Nancy said, if you originally set up 4 coupon codes, where in the process do codes 2 and 4 come in? Because remember, you're going to be running Facebook ads, and you might, you know, you want to get clear in your mind how many units a day that you're willing to give away. So let's say it's 50 units a day for 4 days. Once, you know, you might go through 50 units in 3 hours as a result of that Facebook ad. So you'd have to stop that coupon code, and you would have to deactivate it. Once you deactivate a coupon code, you can't reactivate it. So what would you use on day number 2? Coupon code number 2. And what would you use on day number 3? Coupon code number 3. Steven says, if we use the ASM4 bonus viral app, where would that fit into your sequence? Well, it doesn't fit into my sequence. Because with the viral app is awesome. It is an option for people that don't have reviews, that don't want to go through the steps that I've taught. Okay, so it's not like where does it fit in. It's more like, am I going to order Chinese today, or am I going to order Italian? You don't order both. Okay, because what the ASM viral app does, which is genius, but it'll get you velocity buys and it'll get you reviews. Well, my steps do that also. So you wouldn't, in my opinion, want to do both. And you'll have more control with a bit more of the hands-on approach that I take. The viral app, by the way, is freaking ninja. I'm not, I don't want to reveal what it is, but it is freaking ninja. So, you know, I have used the viral app and I got really good results from it. But again, it's like you know, it's not something that you would do. You wouldn't do viral app plus the dollar funnel, in my opinion. Or, you know, what you could do if you're trying to find a way to test it, is probably after you did your $1 funnel push. If you're not yet ranking where you want to rank, then you might want to add one more wave. Okay, you know, Wilson Meto's wave theory. You might want to add one more wave after the $1 funnel, which would be the viral app, and just see if that's the final push that gets you in the top 3 or 4 or 5 spots. So Sharon, I think I already answered that, the $1 versus viral. Ann says, do you include flyers for people to go to your website and sign up for a VIP club? The way that I'm building my review club is on the back end of my dollar funnels. Right now, unfortunately, I don't have products that lend themselves to inserting a flyer. I wish they did. As soon as I get one, I will definitely be inserting a flyer that will drive them to you know, some sort of a buyer's club. But I just don't happen to have products that easily allow me to fit in a flyer. got a ton of questions here. Sorry, guys. I'm going to kind of have to skip around. Are certification photos on products a good idea for one of the 7 photos? A proof of product safety. So by certification photo, do you mean like third-party lab tested? Yeah, those can work well, especially if you're in a category where there's lots of skepticism, such as like, I don't know, weight loss supplements maybe. A proof of product safety. See, again, all this stuff I think is kind of a, product specific. So proof of product safety, if you're selling paper clips, right, would make sense. Proof of product safety if you're selling like an infant toy, I think that would be huge competitive advantage. W.M. Hazen says, in your 3 email sequence, how do you flag only buyers for the email request reviews? You can't. Okay, as I said, it's not 100% perfect. So yeah, you'll get some people going, oh, I didn't get a chance to buy it, or I didn't buy it. Why are you sending me this email? Cam says, what percentage of people getting the $1 giveaways are leaving reviews? Roughly 20 to 30%. Roughly, and it does depend on a product. So like I've noticed, I've helped out friends and I've helped out clients. For certain like product categories, you get a much higher take rate of reviews. So there's certain like for products, well, let me just make this up. If you're selling, let's say, paper clips, where it's much harder to write a 5-star rating review as opposed to some awesome dog product like dog shampoo that helps dogs that have sensitive skin. Just intuitively, you're going to get 5-star reviews and just overall reviews at a much higher rate where the passion index is higher. So the passion index will be higher for like people that are into sports, probably, yoga, people that love yoga, dog lovers, but people that are trying to lose weight may or may not, right? It just kind of depends. What is the MOQ needed in order to implement this giveaway promotion system? Beth already covered that when I covered about not ordering enough inventory. I covered that as best as I could. What is the reason for having 4 or 8 sets of images in landing pages? I don't know. I've never said that. Oh, I think we're talking about the 7 images in the Amazon listing. That's what I was talking about. Okay, you only need 1 image on the landing page. 1 image. This is 1 image. It looks like 2 images, but it's only 1 image here and 1 image here. Okay. We've had several people again ask about how to join the ongoing coaching I have. I don't want to turn this into a pitch. So when that, when those launch details are ready, we will let you guys know. Jason will probably send out an email, is my guess. There is no one-on-one coaching for ASM4. You guys got these bonus webinars with me instead. Rick says, in your example, would Ben's Amazing Deals also be your product logo? Well, I don't use a product logo on my landers. It's that domain, Ben's Amazing Deals, and it's not my domain, by the way. So, ricksamazingdeals.com is just something that sounds good for that particular promotion. But, I'm not going as far as to making like a logo or a brand for it. It's just solely to just drive traffic from that Facebook ad to these landers. It just sounds better than it's just congruency, right? So if you take somebody from an awesome deal on Facebook and they glance up at the URL and it says blah 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 awesomedeals.com, it's very congruent. You know, it's more believable. Richard says, have you used lead pages for your version 2 funnel? I've not, because I mentioned this earlier. WordPress and lead pages, the load time is just too slow. I used lead pages in my early days just to quickly test, but I switched everything over to HTML because HTML loads so much faster, and load time holds great sway in overall results when you're using pay-per-click. People will not wait for slow-loading pages. Also, the HTML your templates that I'm providing you allow you way easier customization. You know, whether you know something about it yourself or you just hire somebody. I mean, it's so much easier. With lead pages, you really can't customize anything. Lead pages was just something that I used early on, and I taught it early on just because it was, you know, it's literally like 101. It's very, very basic, but you really all, if you've made it to this webinar number 3, you all are ready to switch over to HTML, which is what you want to do for this. Mark says, I've gone through all my contacting suppliers. I'm just about to order samples, but I've just noticed the product is on the list of 47 not to use. Should I revert to one of my other 2 products I selected? Not knowing what the product is or any of those details, I don't want to just wildly guess. So I would, just as a general rule of thumb, unless you know, have a pretty good budget and can order a bit more inventory, in that case, you know, you're in a position where you could compete in a more competitive market. I would say go for it. If you're not, and if money's scarce and you're not going to order like a lot of inventory, then I would say I would probably pick something less saturated if I were you. A lot of people said thank you, Nicholas, I appreciate it, and everybody else saying thanks. Sahan says, how many hours of sleep do I have? What time do I go to sleep? All right, well, I'm a practitioner of something called transcendental meditation, which I don't talk about a lot. But all it is just it's probably the most researched form of meditation. It's not a religion. It's nothing weird. It's a twice daily meditation practice that you do 20 minutes when you wake up, and then 20 minutes in the afternoon around like 5 or 6. And I found that ever since I started TM several years ago, my clarity, my focus went way, way up. My burnout went way, way down, and I needed less sleep overall. So some form of relaxation technique, or I mean, I would recommend transcendental meditation to anybody who's interested in learning meditation. It can be learned very quickly, and like my mother-in-law has been doing it for over, I think, 50 plus years at this point. Yeah, it's really, really helps with focus in business and not needing as much sleep. And after I do a webinar like this, which is frankly coming on almost 3 hours, for most people they'd be brain dead, and I am brain dead, by the way, usually afterwards. But when I hit my meditation time, just that 20-minute practice, I just feel like a new person, like I recharge my batteries, back to 100%. So, for what it's worth, that's something that you guys might want to look into. All right. Eric says, what about using a Chinese friend to negotiate with Alibaba? Well, why don't you just negotiate with Alibaba? That way you learn the skills. I mean, they all pretty much have workable English. So unless you have a good reason to have basically, are you talking like an interpreter? Like you might want to bring them in as you're, later on, after you've already placed the order, to just kind of coordinate shipping times and some of the nuances of English that might not translate well. But I don't think, I've never used a Chinese translator. Samira says, do you think copywriting being a big problem with all the new crackdowns on Amazon? No, I love it. I love it because, see, everyone that is coming from the internet marketing world uses these very hypey, super long titles, super long bullet points. So I love these crackdowns because it means that those of us that are better at copywriting, those of you that are willing to learn it, that's going to be how we compete, because you have to pack more benefit into less characters. So that's a good thing, not a bad thing. Ralph Johnson had a question about my Facebook ads daily budget. Again, I just showed the Facebook setup just kind of as a bonus. I didn't want to get into all the subtleties and nuances of it. So just as a general rule of thumb, I'm testing multiple audiences, and I'll typically set a daily budget of anywhere from $15 to $20 per day per audience. Connie says, is there an online program to help with us AWeber newbies? No, you know, YouTube is a great resource. Pretty much any skill, like, you know, how I learned Photoshop, I just went over to youtube.com and I just typed in, like, you know, Photoshop, how to blank. There's tons of free tutorials on YouTube on how to use AWeber. And AWeber itself, AWeber is very easy to use, by the way, so don't be intimidated by AWeber. But yeah, AWeber is something that you can watch their own tutorial videos that they include, and you'll learn it very quickly. So Camille says, what do you think of MailChimp as an autoresponder, as it's free? I don't think much of it, because they have a lot of weird rules, and you know, AWeber isn't that much, so I would start with AWeber. It's quite affordable. Carrie says, what if we start to get only 3-star reviews from our giveaways? Okay, so when I get a question like this, I always ask, is that an objection that you just invented, or is that something that actually happened to you? Because it's never ever happened to me. And if you started getting 3-star reviews from your giveaways, then you didn't follow my system, because I said that the first and foremost should come from friends and family, right? And then if you're outside the U.S., it should come from like an affinity market. So you'd find a Facebook group or a forum, and where you build that relationship with them, and you have them review it. But if you're getting 3-star reviews from the giveaways, that tells me that you have an inferior product, and or that you didn't set the context for this being a 5-star review by having that friends and family base first. Again, I'm not trying to pick on you. I'm just saying, you know, my gut tells me either you're just inventing this as a concern, but it hasn't happened, and it won't happen because it never happened to me, or if it is happening, you legitimately might have an inferior product, or you skipped one of the steps. You didn't have that base of 15 to 20 like I strongly suggested. Mark, I've already mentioned the viral app twice during the Q&A here. Amy says, stuck on the ASM ranker, go to outsource this sucker today. Awesome, yeah, do it. Just outsource it, you know. Don't allow yourself to get stuck on anything, you know, because you know, we are really in a unique time in history where you can hire anybody to do almost anything for cheap. So Eric says, when can we expect the replay? I don't know. That depends on Dave. I spoke to Dave before this webinar. I think his goal is to try to get the replay up. But as we always mention, we're at the mercy of the rendering times for the video and the upload times. So I would just keep checking back. I'm sure by tomorrow. And Tabitha, these 3 beginner webinars is all you'll get if you want to continue the journey with me. We are going to be reopening for a limited number of people at some point. So I don't know when that is, but I'm sure Jason will send out an email and let you know when we're going to reopen this. Okay, so Cam says, last webinar you said to use ASM Ranker when you're ranked in the first 10 pages. But no. Okay, so let me just clear this up. So you can't use the ASM Ranker until you're within the top 20 pages, not 20 spots, 20 pages of Amazon. Because to use the ASM Ranker, you have to right-click on your Amazon listing and use that data in ASM Ranker. So before you're within the top 20, you want to use a keyword embedded URL. So that's when you'd use the super URL. So to summarize, you use the super URL initially for friends and family. The minute your listing cracks the top 20 pages, switch it out for the ASM ranker. Hope that's clear. Valerie says, do you have a recommendation for an HTML Windows editor? I do not. If anybody knows, can you please type that into the box, an HTML Windows editor for Valerie? Eric says, your encouragement to use Elance is just what I needed to hear. Good. Malcolm says, thank you. I'm now getting off my lazy ass and moving forward. Oh, you guys are funny. James says, I can't find your China video in the bonus section. All right, let me try to find this for you real quick. Give me 1 second. I gotta log in myself here. Okay, I think this is the link. Okay, so you go to your bonuses right here, and you're going to live event recordings right here. See that? Click here to access. And mine is the one that says this recording is Ben Cummings session. It's this one right here. So July 2014, session 2. Jade Campbell says Photoshop and Lightroom together are $10 a month for both. Whoa, man, they have really come down in pricing. So if it's only $10 a month, you might want to just do it that way. Jack, yeah. So the website. So these website pages here have one application. This is just for my $1 Facebook funnel, and then at some point you'd want an e-commerce site, like a more traditional site for your product. Yeah. So Timothy asks, if you already have a simple website for our company, he says he does, should the promo funnel web landing pages be subdomains of the primary domain or a separate domain with an appropriate name for the promotions? Okay. Well, just for sheer speed, if you already have like let's say you have a dog product called doggiesrus.com, sure, then go ahead and throw it up as a subdomain just for sheer speed purposes. But at a certain point, if you're going to be offering like a dog product and then a kitchen product and the supplement, you want something more generic. And Reza, I think I just answered that question. Manjeet says, if we don't rank after 4 days of selling a product for $1, do we do another 4 days until we do rank on the first page? Well, yeah, that's the theory here, because we don't know what it's going to take to rank for that particular product, because ranking is never, you never rank in a vacuum. You're always ranking in comparison to what the competition is doing on page 1. So if the competition is selling far more units per day than you gave away for the first 4 days, or the conversion rate's better, et cetera, you might have to, keep viewing this as, okay, well, how many 4-day waves do I have to roll into shore here for me to start ranking on page 1? And I'll just mention something about this, by the way. Sometimes when you try to rank for what you think is a good keyword, you start getting sales for a different keyword, because what you'll find is that this marketing funnel is like the tide that rises all ships. You might be trying to rank for doggy shampoo, but even though that was the keyword that you used in your ASM ranker was dog shampoo, you're on page 1 already for best dog shampoo, and you're getting sales. So yeah, so just don't, you might be succeeding, but think you're failing, because you haven't checked your ranking for certain other keywords. So it is pretty interesting how that happens. Does a viral app work for UK, Germany, etc.? I don't know about that. You'd have to ask. You'd have to post that in the ASM Masters. I'm not like affiliated with the viral app. So James asked a very good question. Is there some script for people who come through the $1 strategy, but then that day's coupon have been used? Well, in the real world, what you'll do is you'll pause the Facebook campaign like right away. Okay, then you pause or end that coupon for that day. Okay, so you might have some stragglers that say, "Hey, dude, by the time I opened my email, the thing was sold out," and you just say, "Yeah, sorry, we only had 48 to give away. However, I'm going to talk to my wife later, and we'll see what we can do for you." Or sometimes we'll just say, "Hey, no problem. Here's a coupon for your eyes only," and I just give them that next day's coupon like in advance, just so they're happy. Someone wrote, "When would I trademark my product? Is it important?" Well, I actually do think it's important, but I don't think it's important as early on as a lot of you think. So, like in other words, if you had $1,200, I'd rather spend that $1,200 in the early days to rank a product than to try to trademark a product that might end up being a dog. So once I have evidence that I think that product will do well, at that point, I definitely do, and have, start that trademark process. Jack says, "You and Jason are clearly the same type A of personalities." Yeah, I think it's why we get along so well. Babe says, for the HTML, could we just edit in Note Pro? I don't know what Note Pro is, so maybe. Image size, the image size for what? Well, here, let me keep it easy for you. I provided, well, here. If you want the image size for this, let's go inspect element. I don't know offhand, but it's in the Photoshop file. So this one is 200 wide by 500 tall. And it's the same exact size for this. So 200 wide, 500 tall. For the Facebook ad, I can't remember, but I've included, when they post the webinar replay, I've included the PSD file for that. Holly says, "Have fun in Cabo." Thank you. All right, I'm going to take a couple more questions, and I do have to go. I'm just skipping around to find something. Thank you. Thanks. Guys, I don't mean to skip over all the thank yous. I am reading them. I really do, really do appreciate it. And also, just like last time, if you guys like this, I love all the shouts out, like in a Facebook group. So I read all of those, and they always make my day. So, if you liked it, please post something there. Thank you. Let's see. Gary says, "Do you buy a new hosting package for every product?" No. So like this one that I showed you here, that currently today is $3.58 a month. This is for unlimited domains. So if you had 100 different websites, it would still cost you the exact same amount. It wouldn't. So like in other words, it's not $3.58 per domain. That's the total price for unlimited domains. You could have 500 domains in here. It would still cost you, roughly $7 a month normal. Eric says he does Zen meditation. Yeah, awesome. It's kind of interesting about Zen meditation. I'm sort of slow reading the Steve Jobs book by William Isaacson. Boy, it's awesome if you haven't read it. And Steve Jobs is super into meditation and really into Zen meditation. He was an interesting character, man. All right. Yeah, I already answered the trademark question. Michael says, how did you learn TM? Okay, so we have TM is in trademark, and we have TM is in transcendental meditation. I'm assuming you mean transcendental meditation. The way it works is you have to do it one-on-one, and you'll understand why when you go through it. But it's not a religious thing at all. It's not it's not a cult. All it is just a technique, similar to like Zen meditation. But the Transcendental Meditation, you would find a local teacher, and you would just contact that local teacher. Let's see, all right. Evan wants to know what the ASM Masters Cabo trip is. Okay, so this is something that unfortunately it's already too late to join, but a couple times a year, Jason and Wilson put together a small mastermind group that meets in Cabo. And so they scheduled 2 back-to-back ones. So I'm there during a busy month. You know, I'm a big Irish Catholic family. So the holidays is very busy for us. But they all kind of scratched their heads and said, "Okay, you're going to be where for 12 days?" Yeah. So there's 2 back-to-back sessions. They're 3 days each in Cabo, and I'm sure if they offer those again sometime in 2015. I think last time they mentioned it was at the live event. Beth says, "Thanks, Ben. This is awesome. It makes me rethink my whole strategy. I need to focus on less competitive, perhaps lower priced products so I can have enough money to order a larger quantity and have enough to give away and generate reviews." Beth, I think that's a good insight to take away, because if you're going to go into a very competitive market, you have to be well funded. I mean, that is a reality of it. And, you know, it's not just Amazon. It's just that would be true for business in general. You know, if you wanted to compete or try to rank a website in Google for weight loss, is going to be much harder than for rat traps, you know. So yeah, I think that's a good insight. James says, "Is Cabo cleaned up since the hurricane in October?" James, I hope. All right, guys. I'm going to call it a day here. As always, I really appreciate you guys. Hanging on as long as you guys do. You guys are freaking awesome. And let me just say this, some final words of advice here. First, big picture. I just want to say thank you so much for allowing me into your world for this brief period of time, for these 3 beginner webinars, and to share some of my Amazon tactics with you. I really hope you've enjoyed these 3 webinars. I hope that I've given you some certainty that you can do this too. And I'm 1,000% certain that if you work hard, you focus, you wake up a little earlier, you keep learning, that you'll be very successful in this business. And lastly, I just want to leave you with a quote: "The best revenge is getting rich," says Frank Sinatra. So those bosses you hate, or those people that thought you were crazy buying ASM, getting rich is the best revenge. All right, folks. Hey, thanks so much for all the positive words and all the enthusiasm and Facebook and all the great shout-outs that you guys are always posting in there. It means so much to me, and on behalf of myself and my wife Emily and everybody at Rapid Crush, I just want to wish you much success in this crazy Amazon business. Thanks so much.